Happy Tales Learning Center for Dogs. Hello and welcome, everybody. That's Alex Johnson. I'm Brendan Shabath, bringing you some Sunday baseball between the Utica Unicorns and the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. Alex, this is a rematch of the championship from last year between these two teams, and sort of a de facto rematch from what was supposed to be played on Friday. It was supposed to be opening day between these two teams. Got rained out due to the weather, but we do get to see the past champions from last year, the Beavers, go against the runner-up Unicorns today on Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely, Brian. You talked about it on Friday, and it was supposed to be the opening day of the season for the USPBL, and then the defending rematch of the two teams, but Mother Nature had other ideas with the rain and the thunderstorm, so the game had to be postponed. So we get to see these two teams here today in the rematch. Going to be very excited to see how these two teams come out, especially for the Beavers defending their title.
And despite the rain out on Friday, opening day was still about as exciting as it could get yesterday. We had our doubleheader, 2 games between the Hoppers and the Mammoths, 2 6-inning games. Both went into the sudden death extra inning, both won by the Hoppers. They won the first game on defense, the second game on offense, and they had 2 6th-inning comebacks in the bottom of the 6th in each of those games to send it to extras. We had a little bit of everything. We had some defense, we had some offense, we had some pitching, we had some base running. It was a really great and exciting start to this season here in 2023.
Yeah, you couldn't have asked for a better opening day. Well, yesterday, the Hoppers coming back with 2 6-inning deficits, and then come winning it in the impressive sudden death rule. It's just such a lot of excitement for the fans just to be coming back here to see some exciting baseball. It was a great time for everyone to see these young guys looking to get to the next level. It was a lot of entertainment here last night here at Jimmy John's Field.
And the storyline last night was that the Mammoths were a pretty new team. They didn't have a ton of returners, especially at the plate. A lot of the position players were new guys here, and it's one of the better teams that Taylor Jellikowski has put together. But on the opposite side, the Hoppers had some big-name returners. Noah Marcoux, Bryant Schellenbarger, Joe Burke. And those were the guys who had the big plate appearances, the big-time hits to win that game. It's a similar story today. The Unicorns, who were the best team in the regular season all year last year, 28-16 record. They don't have that many returners, especially at the plate, which is where they were so dominant a season ago on offense. Meanwhile, on the other side, the Beavers, Chris Davis, Travius Ford, J.D. Stubbs, Jesse Galindo, some big names are back for them, especially in the lineup at the top of the order. Davis, Ford, and Stubbs, 1, 2, 3 today.
Yeah, the Unicorns, they were like 28-16. They lost some key guys. They're going to be shorthanded here today with some guys still finishing up their college career in the College World Series or in other levels on the NCAA and NAIA. So it's going to be interesting to see them today. And the Beavers, like you said, they have a lot of key returners like from the Hoppers. 4 key guys, Travius Ford, J.D. Stubbs, Chris Davis, Jesse Galindo. Those guys were key in that championship game last season. They're going to be a huge impact for them, not just today, but throughout the season. So it's interesting for them to see it come back out here today and how the Unicorns respond.
Our pitching matchup today is pretty interesting as well. We got Zach Gorey on the mound against Tristan Harvin. Tristan Harvin making his first professional start. Zach Gorey with some pro experience, but right now, coming from the left side, the only lefty in the entire league against 7 right-handed hitters in that Unicorns lineup. Should be interesting. Yeah,
it should be interesting. Gorey, the only southpaw in the rotation in the USPL. Hopefully going to get these guys off balance. We're seeing a different pitch that these guys haven't really used to. They're mostly trying to get guys from the right-handed side, no pitchers they see, but looking at it against the guy from the left side, kind of have to make some adjustments, especially with Coach Essien did with a heavy right-handed lineup.
Day 2 of the USPBL season is coming up in just a few moments. We'll be back with lineups after this here on the USPBL Network.
There are many things you can rely on in this world, like a sunny day brightening your mood, your mom baking the world's best apple pie, and never a dull moment in running your business. And when it comes to time-consuming HR tasks, you can rely on Tryon. Tryon can handle payroll and taxes, employee benefits, and more, so you can stay focused on attracting and retaining the best talent. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Welcome back to the ballpark. Getting ready here at Jimmy John's Field for Game 3 of the 2023 season. This one, a rematch between last year's championship between the Beavers and the Unicorns. Let's take a look at our sponsors for today's game, brought to you by Ascension, Belfour Property Restoration, Dave & Buster's, DTE Energy, Fifth Third Bank, Jarbcom, Jimmy John's, Macomb Community College, McLaren Macomb, McQuaid Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Refrigeration, Metro Detroit Chevy Dealers, Pepsi, Scott's, and United Wholesale Mortgage. We thank all our proud sponsors for everything that they do for the USPBL. Alex Johnson, Brennan Shabath bringing you the lineups ahead of Sunday afternoon baseball on the USPBL Network. We'll take a look at the visiting Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers to start. Out in left field, batting first will be Chris Davis for the Beavers, one of the returners that we mentioned in this lineup. The next two are returners, Travius Ford and J.D. Stubbs. Ford out in center, Stubbs getting the start at first base. Batting cleanup is a returner to the USPBL, but not the Beavers, Malik Bolin, the designated hitter in the 4 spot today. A Unicorn a season ago, a Beaver this year. Tremaine Spears is at the hot corner at third and batting fifth. Batting sixth is David Meach. He'll be out in right field. Andreas Ugarte is going to be our catcher. He's batting seventh. Batting eighth, Marcus Judd playing second base, and ninth, rounding things out, is Ben Wilcoxon, the shortstop. The Beavers are led on the bump today by the only left-hander in the league, Zach Gorey. On the other side, for the home Utica Unicorns, it's Donovan Curiel leading things off and playing short. Cam Norgren will bat second and play second. Josh Baker is out in left field batting third. Cleaning things up for the Unicorns today, Jacob Bisharat, he's over at first base. Justin Gomez is the catcher behind the plate. He'll bat fifth. Alec Brunson on this Unicorns team a season ago. He bats sixth and plays out in right field. Patrick Baggett, he is the center fielder today, batting in the 7th spot. Alejandro Lara, he is the third baseman, batting eighth. And Nick Caruso, the designated hitter and assistant coach on this Unicorns team. A little short-staffed are the Unicorns right now. They have planned to sign plenty of college guys who messed around and won their conference championship, so they got to keep playing and move on to regionals. But when those college seasons do eventually end, those guys will get here, and Caruso will not have to help out his lineup anymore. But this is a Unicorns lineup who's very different from last year, and they've got big shoes to fill. That team last year was loaded with offense.
Yeah, absolutely, Brennan. They were they were the top team in the league last season, 28-16, looking to go for a four-peat last season, but the Beavers spoiled their plans back in September. Coming into this season, a lot of new faces, a lot of guys that were on this team last year that are no longer here. So these guys are not, like as Embiid, short-staffed due to those players out finishing out their season out in college, their final season. So it's going to be a different lineup here for Coach Tim Essien for his team to try to compete here today, try to start off the season on the right foot, despite having limited guys he has here on his staff here today.
Some guys that stand out for this Unicorns team, Cam Norgren batting in the 2-hole, playing second base. He had 4 college seasons in North Carolina at 3 different schools. He spent a year at North Greenville, 2 years at NC Central, and then 3 at Eastern Tennessee State. 133 total games, 294 average, hit 20 bombs in college. Those numbers certainly stand out. And then also Justin Gomez, the catcher, he has professional experience, was in the Cincinnati Reds organization in the minor leagues in 2019, 2020, and 21. 2 seasons there. 240 in the minors with a couple home runs, 13 RBIs, half as many walks as strikeouts are pretty good numbers as well. Was in the Frontier League a season ago, comes to the USPBL this year from Bellflower, California. There are some guys on this Unicorns roster with professional experience, and that is going to help these guys.
Yeah, Coach Essien is going to help these guys work really, really hard, especially the guys you mentioned, Norgren and Gomez, who've had some experience already and have really good college careers. So they're looking to elevate that here into the USPBL this season.
as the starting lineups are still being announced. It's a beautiful day, much better than the last week that we've had. It's been unseasonably chilly here in Michigan the last couple days, and yesterday kind of overcast, kind of cloudy. Friday, obviously, we had the rain, and today the weather gorgeous. Sunny skies, 72 degrees, not a breeze. It's nice and calm. It's a really great day for baseball.
It is, sunny skies, no clouds really. There might be a little bit in the air, but nonetheless, a perfect day for baseball. People out here for Bark in the Park today, bringing their dogs out. It's going to be a perfect day, and for both of these teams, the Unicorns and the Beavers, looking to start out the season strong as we have the lineups out here coming out on the field.
Checking in on the Facebook and YouTube. The USPBL Network is broadcast on YouTube, on Facebook Live, and on My Michigan TV. We appreciate you anywhere that you tune in to the games, and we hope you enjoy our broadcasts and the games that we have every single day. Yesterday, if you were tuned in, you know it was a blast. We had a lot of fun in both of our double headers. Hunter Nobles asks for the starting lineups. Hunter, if you missed them, we went through them. You can rewind a little bit on the YouTube if you want. Daniel Mueller says, let's go, Brendan. Daniel was our Flight Scope intern in the baseball operations department up here, sitting in the press box with us all season last year with myself and Jeremy Otto, Aaron Gemmel, Nick Matthews. Everybody was up here. Daniel was here with us. So good to see Dan still checking in on the USPBL. We've got the Unicorns and the Beavers getting ready today. It'll be Zach Gorey versus Tristan Harvin, two guys who we haven't seen yesterday in the matchups. It was three pitchers out of the four were returners who had been here before. Today, two brand new guys that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, it could be interesting how these two guys step up here on the mound here today. We talked to both coaches, over the last few days. They're probably going to a little limitation on how much they pitch here today, trying to get everyone just a taste of being on the mound here today, being the first game of the season for them, being the first game of the season for these guys, and on that playing on Friday was trying to get some of that experience out of their belt and get that first game out of the way.
It's also not only a gorgeous day for baseball, but it's Bark in the Park, brought to you by Happy Tales here at Jimmy John's Field. And I think, this is just me, Alex, I don't know about you, Bark in the Park is my favorite day at any ballpark all year. Look at these dogs. They're getting in the pool on a hot summer day like today. They're having a blast. It's so much fun for the kids to be here and see all the dogs. And as broadcasters, I enjoy it too.
Yeah, it's a great time. Get these dogs, get some fresh air outside, get to come to a perfect ball game here today. Get to spend some time out in the sun and get to interact with the fans as they're going to enjoy a good one here today.
And who would have thought we would get such a fantastic tradition just from two words that rhyme? Someone was genius enough to realize that Bark and Park rhymed and figured they'd make a theme day out of it. So it's always a blast when we've got the pups here at the ballpark. It's about time for the national anthem. We're going to step aside one more time when we come back. First pitch, Unicorns and Beavers on the USPBL Network.
Jimmy John's Field is the perfect venue for birthday parties, summer picnics, company outings, and provides the best entertainment in Metro Detroit with great baseball all summer long. Spend your summer nights under the lights at Jimmy John's Field in historic downtown Utica.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
Lineups, check. Anthem, check. God Bless America, check. Getting ready for Sunday afternoon baseball here at Jimmy John's Field, downtown Utica. So glad you could join us wherever you're watching. Hoping you're having a good time. Leave a comment on the Facebook or YouTube. Tell us where you're watching this game from. Had a couple people yesterday from all across the country tuning in. It'll be the Beavers batting first against the Unicorns, and Tristan Harvin, the 25-year-old out of Dothan, Alabama.
I'm looking out for Harvin here today, making his first start in the USPBL. Very excited for him, and we had a chance able to talk with him before the game. Very excited for him to see what he comes out here in his debut. Looking at it from him, imagine he's looking at it for him to be the right-handed pitcher. From Dothan, Alabama, played at Birmingham Southern College, a Division III school down in Birmingham. Looking at it for him in his college career, at a 3.07 ERA a year ago, 2-0 record, and had 3 starts as well in 14 2/3 innings pitched, 18 strikeouts compared to 6 walks. Very excited to see what he can bring to the table here today.
Yeah, really good college numbers. When you take a look over his entire career, too, of strikeouts and walks over the 5 seasons that he was at Birmingham Southern, averaged 8 strikeouts per 9 innings compared to just 2.5 walks per 9 innings. For a guy who went through 5 seasons of college to have a sub-4 ERA along with those numbers, that usually bodes well, even for someone who isn't going to overpower you with velocity, low 90s, high 80s pretty much. Still to have those numbers, the location and that splitter that he's got, fastball, splitter, curveball. He likes that splitter. We're going to see that a lot today.
Yeah, we are going to see that. He's going to try to use the 4-seam fastball first and then try to mix in some of his splitter and curveball that we're going to see from him. Try to keep the hitters off balance. And like we mentioned, that strikeout to walk ratio was really crucial in college, especially playing for 5 years and having that COVID shutdown season as well. So, looking to get ready here, get his first game under his belt here in the USPBL. Looks like we're going to be underway.
First pitch is on the outside edge for strike one at 1:08 here on Sunday. Chris Davis batting. The 0-1 inside just misses. Davis, a returner to the Beavers from last season. Came a little bit later in the year, a college showcase guy after he finished up his season at Duke back in 2022. Was here for 22 games in the league. Hits this one out to left. Pretty well hit. Going back is Baker, and that's gone. That one just kept carrying for Davis, and that's the first home run of the USPBL season here in 2023.
What a blast by Davis out to left center. That was a no-doubter. Leadoff home run to start off the Sunday afternoon. Couldn't have asked for a better beginning to this game.
Here's the defense for the Unicorns today. It's Baker, who we just saw out in left. Baggett in center. Brunson out there in right. Lara and Bisharat are on the corners. Donovan Curiel, Cam Norgren up the middle. And Gomez is catching the pitches behind the plate as Travius Ford up to bat now for the Beavers. Takes high for ball one. And that one's way up and away for ball two.
It was just a powering to welcome Hartman into the league. Not what you wanted to start here, but that carried a lot on Davis. Now trying to bounce back here with another returner for the Beavers and Travius Ford.
Yeah, how about Tristan Harvin? Welcome to the pros. In your first start, first batter. A home run from Chris Davis. 3-0 to Ford, taking all the way. Fastball finds its way into the zone. Ford, one of the more exciting players last season. He's pegged as one of those guys as well coming into this year. Swing and a miss. Took a big hack at another fastball in the heart of the zone.
Yeah, he finished out the year strong last year. Had 284 average with the Beavers. A couple of pops in his bat with 3 homers and driven in 9 runs in 24 games.
Blew the fastball right by him from 3-0 to a strikeout. Tristan Harvin fights his way back, gets his first career professional strikeout, and that's one down in the inning.
Yeah, that's a huge strikeout for Harvin. You know, being down in the count, you don't want to get another guy on. You try to hustle back into the count and strike out a very talented hitter like Ford to retire him.
Brings up J.D. Stubbs. First baseman today for the Beavers. Looks at strike one.
Yeah, the 6'3", 220 first baseman, another left-handed batter for the Beavers. He's from Georgia Gwinnett, a talented school in the NAIA.
Swing and a miss. 0-2. Georgia Gwinnett, where one of the better pitchers in the USPBL last season, who eventually moved on from the league, Greg Luukkonen, went to school. Popped up to center. Fairly deep, but playable for Baggett. He'll make the grab.
Yeah, good swing on the bat off of Stubbs. Looked like trying to see if he was going to get that one carried out, but a good catch out and left by Baggett to get himself in position to make the routine play.
Now Malik Bolin getting his first at-bat as a Beaver. Finds the outside corner. Good frame job there by Bisharat behind the plate for strike one.
Looking to see if he can get the sign and try to get something to go his way after laying up that leadoff home run. Going back to Bolin, he was on the Unicorns last year. One of the top players in the USPBL. Was one at the 3rd highest average out of anybody in the league at 326.
Swing and a miss. Got him with the splitter. That's what we've seen a lot from Tristan Harvin, and we knew we were going to see it today. Gives up a leadoff home run to Chris Davis, follows it up, retiring the next 3, and the Beavers have an early 1-0 lead here on the USPBL Network. Now time for Kara Wolfbauer with our sweetheart of the game.
Fifth Third Extra Time helps you do you better. So kick back and relax. You have extra time to avoid overdraft fees. third extra time. This is banking a fifth third better.
Bottom one here on the U.S. PBL network. Zach Gorey, a left-handed pitcher from Texas, getting his first start here in the U.S. PBL. He'll face Donovan Curiel, Cam Norgren, and Josh Baker for the Unicorns. Already with a 1-0 lead thanks to Chris Davis with a leadoff solo shot for the Beavers in the top of the first.
Yeah, now seeing what the Unicorns can do to come back here against the only left-handed pitcher in the leagues, Zachary Gorey. He played at junior college at Panola College in Carthage, Texas.
Take a look at the defense behind Gorey today. Davis in left, Ford in center, David Meach out in right field, Tremaine Spears and J.D. Stubbs manning the corners. Ben Wilcoxon and Marcus Judd are the double play combination up the middle. Judd, we think, is going to be an exciting defensive player this year for the Beavers. And Andres Ugarte is the catcher behind the plate out of Venezuela.
And Marcus Judd, being at second base, can get some key plays up the middle or even on the right side. And you mentioned if you're able to play, like I talked with Coach John Dombrowski yesterday, if you play clean baseball on defense and try to limit mistakes, you'll be in a great position to win games. And that's something that he mentioned with me. And want to be able to start off strong on the right foot, play clean baseball. For many of these guys, this is their first chance playing at a professional level like this. So it can be nerve-wracking to start. Once you get that first game out of the way, you can get to ease in.
And Ugarte is someone that Dombrowski mentioned as one of the really good defensive catchers. He's not going to wow you at the plate with his hitting, but he might be the best defensive catcher Dombrowski thinks in the league, and his ability to steal strikes in the zone and frame pitches well enough to get his pitchers in an advantage count is something he finds really valuable that he thinks Ugarte is going to be very successful at this year.
Absolutely.
First pitch from the lefty Gorey is high above the zone for ball one to Curiel.
Yeah, Curiel, one of the returning players to the Unicorns this season. He was a key player when talking with Coach Essien last night.
Curiel was here 2 seasons ago. 36 games, 234 average. Back in 2021 here at Jimmy John's Field, the 2-0. Outside edge, strike one.
He had an impressive career at Clark University NAIA School in Iowa. And his senior season had 8 home runs on a .357 average.
Pops this one up, plenty of room in foul territory. Is Stubbs going to get there in time? He can't. Neither can Judd or Meach.
Yeah, this is a long run to get. This is so deep in foul territory here at Jimmy John's Field. A lot of room to work with. It's also difficult for catchers if a ball goes to the backstop.
The 2-2. Breaking ball, and Curiel made a pass at it, but again, another foul ball. Gorey works 4-seam, 2-seam, slider, and a changeup.
He has a lot of pitches in his arsenal to use. Trying to keep the hitters intact and trying to mix it up.
And another breaking ball fouled back.
Yeah, Curiel's just trying to attack here. Everything he can. Especially the start of the game, already down a run.
This one is just over the head of the center fielder, Wilcoxon, and Curiel reaches to lead things off for the Unicorns. A good at-bat, fought off a couple foul balls there with 2 strikes, and is able to just barely muscle a single into left center field.
Yeah, Wilcoxon was taking a few steps back. I thought he was going to have a chance to snag that one, but it just went over him just a hair. And good at bat by Curiel, fighting his way through, following off a few pitches, but gets rewarded here with a leadoff single.
That brings up Cam Norgren. Slider in for a strike. We saw the base running play a big factor in the game yesterday between the Hoppers and the Mammoths. Curiel with enough speed to do some damage over there at first base against the lefty. Corey delivers another slider, this time running too far inside on the righty Norgren out of Cary, North Carolina. We mentioned him. 3 schools in 4 years in college. All in all, the totals look pretty good. Quick pickoff move over to first.
Norgren in his senior season in college had 9 homers and 36 runs driven in, 280 average, on base percentage of 368, slugging percentage of 476. As he's going to be a key player. On talk with Coach Jim Essian yesterday, as a guy to mentor the other players on this team. A lot of new faces for the Unicorns this season after being in first place in the regular season last year.
Slider in for strike 2. We've seen a lot of sliders already from Gorey today. Likes that pitch bounding in on the right-handed hitters.
See what he can do here.
2-2 slider again. Right to third. The throw back to first. Not in time. Good heads-up play by Spears with a nice catch. Quickly fired it over to first, but Curiel got back. And that's a hard line out for the first out.
Yeah, we'd like to be on the ground to turn 2, but you'll take at least the out. Keep the runner over at first base. But what a heads-up play by Spears. That was just a hard-hit ball coming right at you.
Spears, a newcomer to the USPBL, flashing the leather in his first start. Baker skies this one in the air to right. Running in is Meach over, and that's caught.
Yeah, chased Baker that time on Gorey. Get a 1-pitch out. Now quickly 2 away for the cleanup hitter.
Baker, one of 2 lefties in the lineup for the Unicorns. The other lefty, Justin Gomez, is on deck behind Jacob Bisharat for the Corns.
Bisharat going to be another key player in the middle of the order, the cleanup hitter from Miles College, Division II school in Birmingham, Alabama. Coach Essen says he has a lot of power and speed, as we've seen in his 5 seasons in his collegiate career. Was very impressive in his senior season at Miles College, 367. A lot of these guys come in with a lot of power are on the Unicorns this season. Have played really well. I'll try to take that next step here and try to continue that success. It's a transition from the college game to here, and you're playing some of the top competition game in and game out.
And that's always an interesting part of the transition in any sport, I think, from college to professional level, is the level that they played in college. As Bisharat checks his swing, did not go, 1-1. And I think baseball is one of those sports where it translates a little bit more to the professional level. Just good baseball. Obviously, the level of competition you play always matters, and D3 versus D1 there's a difference there. But we've seen plenty of guys in baseball still come at what might be considered a lower level of college and still be very successful at the professional level, both in independent leagues and in minor league and even in the majors.
Yeah, there's many guys, at these lower schools, not in Division I, but have made an impact, in their collegiate career, and scouts have looked at them and watched them through film or in person and given them a chance to play either at this level or in the pros. So it doesn't matter where you're from. Doesn't matter if you're in a Power 5 school or in Division 3 or NAIA. You have a chance to make an impact, and people will look at you and you think you got that talent, you're able to go to the next level.
Swing and a miss for Bicharat. Fastball blew it by him. That's the first strikeout for Gorey and the third out of the inning. Unicorns strand a runner. It's still 1-0 Beavers after one.
Fifth Third Extra Time helps you do you better. So kick back and relax. You have extra time to avoid overdraft fees. Fifth Third Extra Time. This is banking a Fifth Third better.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
Unicorns down by a run, trying to keep it at just that here in the top half of the second. They'll face Tremaine Spears, David Meach, and Andreas Ugarte for the Beavers. Those are the 5, 6, and 7 hitters against Tristan Harvin.
Yeah, I'm interested to see, Brennan, what Tristan Harvin does here, how he bounced back after letting up that leadoff home run by Chris Davis to start to the game, but he was able to ease in, getting forward and bowling out on strikes, out swinging rather. But now let's see if he can have a cleaner inning, try to face the minimum here to get his offense back to work in the bottom half of the frame.
Harvin has an interesting story with how he got to the USPBL and just how his college career ended and finding his way here. Knew a couple people that were familiar with the league, was told to come up for the tryout and made his way here and was able to make it onto the Unicorns roster. He got hurt in the last 3 pitches of his last college start of his true senior season. He was there for 5 years, used the COVID year. That was of his 4th year. And had Tommy John surgery in May of last year. And, on that UCL, that throwing elbow on that right elbow, and has since slowly worked his way back to getting to pitch live and pitch here at the professional level, and this being his first start. It's a pretty a culmination for what this long road has been, and he mentioned it. It's been a long journey for him to get to this spot, but he's glad to be here and just be competing against the rest of the players in this league.
Yeah, it's not an easy road coming back from that type of major surgery. We've seen that in any level of these pitchers having Tommy John, but that recovery is a long process, and going through practices and practice pitcher simulation games and getting back to an actual start. But Harvin's really happy about it. He's really happy to be back on the mound playing, getting some quality time here.
Out into center from Spears. That will drop for a base hit. Seems to be the way baseball tends to go. The guy who makes a nice play in the field is usually up to bat and usually does something decent in the next inning, and that's exactly what Spears just did. He had that nice grab on a hard liner at third in the last half inning.
Yeah, he just blooper up into center. The shortstop Curiel and Norgren, totally too far for them to get, and just dropped in front of Baggett. But the Beavers once again have to lead off man on.
Outside for David Meach, 23-year-old out of Douglas, Massachusetts. Outside edge, I should say, for strike one. 2 seasons at Bloomfield University in Virginia, an NAIA. Fly ball right field. That one's pretty deep. Going back is Brunson onto the warning track. Right in front of the wall, makes the catch. Giving it a ride was Meach, but it's just a long out and the first out in the top of the second.
Yeah, that was a good piece of hitting off of Meach. But unfortunately didn't have that wind to carry that one out into right center. Brunson able to just take a few steps back and make the good play at the warning track.
Yeah, you can see that flag out there in center field is pretty limp. We mentioned it earlier. No real breeze today. Leadoff home run by Chris Davis of the Beavers to start this game. gave them their lead 1-0 that they're holding on right now. There you see the pennant flags out in left. Those are limp as well. And those are smaller flags than the one out in center. So when those are limp, you know there's really no wind.
Yeah.
Here's Ugarte. Inside, caught him on the shoulder. Hit by the pitch, so 2 base runners for the Beavers.
Let's see if they can pull a 2-out rally. Is going to have a visit here with Gomez and Harvin, just trying to calm them down. Well, off that leadoff single. Actually, one out, excuse me. But still trying to get out of this jam that you're in right now and trying to stay composed and not let this game get out of hand early.
So that brings up Marcus Judd, the second baseman today for the Beavers. Judd hails from Davenport, Florida. Spent a season there back in 2017 at Florida A&M. 3 years after that at Edward Waters, an NAIA down there in Florida.
Yeah, a lot of talent. A lot of talented schools down in Florida in the NAIA. Southeastern University, one of the top schools, if not the top school in the entire NAIA. And so there's a lot of tough competition down there. And Judd, one of the key players down at Edward Waters. His senior season, 38 games, was really impressive. You know, hitting over 300 throughout his tenure in college. Has some power in his bat. 7 collegiate home runs in his career. Has driven in 64. So he's a guy in the 8th spot here today, looking to make an impact right away here with the runner in scoring position.
2-1. Popped him up on the infield. 2 down for Harvin and the Unicorns as Norgren squeezes it.
Yeah, Judd was not really happy on that pitch, or he swung at. It was just not what he was looking for, but he's still got another chance here with the number 9 here, Ben Wilcoxon, stepping up to the plate. From Kentucky Wesleyan Division II school in Owensboro, hometown of Lexington.
Wilcoxon, teammates and friends growing up with the hero from last night, Chandler Dunn, who had the walk-off hit in the second game of the doubleheader for the Hoppers. Grew up in the same neighborhood as Wilcoxon. They were friends all the way through school and now here at the professional level. He faces a 1-0. That's high. 2 balls, no strikes. Good hitters count for the shortstop from Lexington, Kentucky.
Yeah, it's always good to meet up with your college buddies, your teammates, afterwards, and now playing at the USPBL despite being on different teams. It's something special for these guys.
Wilcoxon pops this one up in on the hands, and Baker will squeeze it for the 3rd out. Beavers threaten a little bit, put 1 in scoring position, but can't muster up any more than that. They still lead it 1-0, though. Unicorns trying to change that after the break on the USPBL Network.
We're the financial champion of Michiganders. Whether you're a goal-getter or dream chaser, an empty nester or up-and-comer, anyone in Michigan can bank with us. Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union.
You dreamed of starting a company, not an HR department, but your business has grown fast, and so have the complexities of payroll and taxes, benefits administration, and other HR functions. That's why your business needs a professional employer organization like Tryon Solutions. Tryon provides businesses of all sizes access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Check your checking. If your account doesn't get you pumped, amped, or geeked, make the switch to Genius Checking from Genesis Credit Union. It's just genius.
USPBL Network Sunday afternoon baseball, Beavers and Unicorns. It's 1-0 right now here in the bottom of the second. It'll be Gomez, Brunson, and Baggett due up for the Unicorns.
Zachary Gorey gets back on the bump for the Beavers. He let up a leadoff single off of Donovan Curiel, but able to retire the rest of the order for the Unicorns, looking to get another clean inning here. So one of the interesting factors being the only southpaw in the entire USPBL. It's something that makes him stand out over the rest, and how players are trained to face left-handers and righties. Especially here with Justin Gomez. Could be interesting to start with this lefty-lefty matchup. You don't see that a lot really these days.
It's clear that Gorey is just loving that slider right now. Threw it to righties in the top half of the order, and here against the lefty, Gomez starts him off with the slider for strike one. That fastball misses just inside.
You don't want to get too comfortable with that. That's a pitch he really enjoys, but want to be able to try to change it around here, use his different pitches that he has. The first time through the order, these players are seeing you for the first time.
Swing and a miss for strike two. 2-2 on Gomez, the catcher from California. Out into center, racing over is Ford. One down.
Unicorns need to get some base runners early on here. Know you're down one, And here's Alec Brunson to the plate.
It's just very different watching this Unicorns team from a season ago. So much power, so much danger everywhere in the lineup, 1 through 9. And most of those guys have left.
Yeah, it's a transition. It's kind of difficult from guys that you've had and that was really key last year and the year before that have moved on. But in this developmental league where the next player's up, you get signed or get shown at the showcase to make an impact.
Fly ball out to left, pretty deep, but Davis is there just in front of the track.
It's a good approach and a good swing on it out to left center.
Yeah, a couple of good swings for the Unicorns, just not getting all of them. You think about the hard hit ball from Norgren that was lined out at third on the catch by Spears, and then back-to-back decent swings here in the second. Fly out to center, fly out to left from Gomez and Brunson, brings up Patrick Baggett.
Yeah, you want to be aggressive at the plate. You don't want to swing randomly and off pitches and force anything. You want to be able to stay composed at the plate and not chase anything off. And these guys have gone through a lot. They've gone through a lot in their college career and knowing what to do.
Slider punched into center field for a base hit. Baggett reaches with 2 outs and trying to start a rally. Will be Lara following him up.
Let's see if they can get a spark here in the bottom of the order for the Unicorns with Lara coming up, and then Caruso on deck if they can get to him, and then turn it over to the top of the order, try to get a 2-out rally.
We had to call time for that baseball to make its way to the dugout. First pro hit for Patrick Baggett. It's been a season at Reinhardt University, same school as the catcher for the Beavers, Andreas Ugarte.
Reinhardt, another talented school down in Georgia, down south in the NAIA. Congratulations to him on this first hit.
Have to pay attention to Baggett over there at first. He took a big round around the first base bag on what was certainly going to be a single. Ugarte tries to pick back. Yep, they're worried about Baggett with his speed, and if anybody is familiar with him, it's Ugarte, who was his teammate at Reinhardt.
Yeah, they know them very well. Being teammates and being on different sides here today.
Alejandro Lara comes from UC Davis in the Big West Conference out there in California. 91 games in 4 years, 280 average. Baggett goes on the pitch, and Ugarte isn't even going to try it, as it's just a walk for Lara. 4-pitch walk, though, puts 2 on with 2 out.
Now bringing up the assistant coach, the assistant manager, but playing for the Unicorn today, stepping in, Nick Caruso.
Caruso was not a coach last year, a player.
You know what I meant this year.
Right.
I kind of jumped off, yeah, but assistant coach this year, I should say, but.
Smokes this one out to left on the first pitch. Is that going to stay fair? It will not. Just drops in front of Davis. Couple feet beyond that foul line. It looks like Caruso still comfortable in playing mode. He played 29 games last year, had just a .212 average, but the BABIP, the batting average on balls in play, which is essentially a luck factor, was the lowest in the entire league, 250. He had probably the most lineouts to the outfield of any player in the league. Had a bunch of solid swings, and just they didn't result in too many base hits for Nick.
Looking to come in today and try to change that here. Has a lot of experience. We started out his career at De La Salle High School in Warren, and
up the middle, gets by the shortstop Wilcoxon. That's going to bring Baggett home. Runners on the corners as Caruso, the DH, ties it for the Unicorns.
And Wilcoxon looked like he was trying to make that sliding grab on one hop, but wasn't able to. And Caruso, the number 9 here, ties it up. Good piece of hitting into the center field grass. Got runners on the quarters now. The Unicorns are trying to take the lead here and get it back to the top of the order. Like I said, you want to move the train along.
So now Curiel with his second at bat. Back-to-back innings. First one was a single over the head of the shortstop Wilcoxon. Facing a 1-0, the delivery outside. And Ugarte is going to call time and go talk things over with Gorey.
And he's let the last 3 guys reach base, 2 singles and a walk, and he was in a really good rhythm. He retired 5 straight before the Unicorns have tied it up, so want to be able to just stay in control and try to get out of this inning with limited damage, with runners on first and third here, 2 outs and behind in the count.
Down the middle for strike 1 with the fastball. Two 2-1, fastball roped out to left. Davis going back to the track right there to make the grab. Curiel gave it a ride. A couple good swings for the Unicorns, including a base hit up the middle for Nick Caruso to tie the game at 1 after 2 innings. Beavers with a piece, Unicorns with a piece. We'll be back to the 3rd inning after this on the USPBL Network.
At Ascension, Michigan, we're committed to being your first choice for healthcare. Our nationally recognized heart program is the leader throughout Michigan in minimally invasive heart valve procedures. For joint replacement, spine, and cancer care, patients choose our specialists for advanced care and treatment. And we also excel in the things that can't be measured. Listening more closely, caring more compassionately.
First State Bank is a locally owned and operated business. We're part of your community. At fsbcares.com, you'll find ways that we're making a difference by featuring locally owned and operated businesses, providing access to helpful financial resources, and engaging with community. fsbcares.com is part of our commitment to the neighborhood because strong neighbors mean stronger communities.
Where good neighbors do great things.
Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Good day to be at the ballpark. Grab some good eats. There's not a bad seat in this house here at Jimmy John's Field. JJ celebrating Bark in the Park with some of his other furry friends today or around the stadium. Come on down to Jimmy John's Field. There's plenty of good games going on all year long. We had 2 good games yesterday. We've got a good one early on here today. Always a fun time at the ballpark. Plenty of good deals going on, good eats and drinks. Mentioned there's not a bad seat in the house. Always a fun time here in downtown Utica.
Absolutely. Opening weekend's been really great so far. 2 great games last night to start off the season, and another good one here today in the championship rematch from last September. The Beavers, the defending champs, against the Unicorns team that is coming in retooled with a lot of new faces.
Chris Davis facing an 0-2, hit his first professional home run to lead things off in the top of the first against Tristan Harvin. Harvin's first professional batter and Davis's first professional home run.
And he carried that one out really hard out to left center back in that first inning.
That one misses the zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Davis here last year, we mentioned, coming in after the college showcase. Took a little while to get going. Pounds this one to the first base side. It'll be a race to the bag. Harvin over there. Did he get there in time? He didn't. Davis beat it out, hustled right out of the box, and earns an infield single.
Just a bang-bang play, but Davis able to squeak it out, able to beat Harvin by about half a step. Never take anything out for granted. It just looked like it was just going to be a routine ground ball out, a 3-1, but Davis had other ideas.
It seemed like the flip from Bisharat was a little bit high, too. Harvin had to kind of jump behind him a little bit, which pulled him slightly away from the bag, and that might have been just enough for Davis to get in there safely. So now the leadoff man is on the top of the third for Travius Ford.
Yeah, just changes the complexity right now. No, we'll have nobody on and 1 out, but instead have no outs here with the leadoff man on once again.
Ford took a big cut and calls time. The pitch clock new in the USPBL this year. And pretty much every level of baseball, now that it's been implemented in the majors, you can find the clock. Not quite at the college level yet, but Ford ropes this one to left. This one's going to get down, probably extra bases. Davis rounding second, going to third. Ford following quickly behind. He'll cruise into second base, and that's a double for Travius Ford. He's fired up, 2 in scoring position, nobody out. Beavers are brewing here in the top of the third.
Yeah, he just carried that one off the bat into the gap in left field, all the way to the wall. Davis, he was trying to score, but he was held up at third by the third base coach, and he just hustled his way through. And now 2 runners on and nobody out.
And 2 runners with speed, too. I think anything in medium depth in the outfield is probably going to score Davis and send Ford over to third, depending on where in the outfield. If it's left, it'll be tough for Ford to try to tag from second to third, but you never know. He's got so much speed. He mentioned that base stealing record from Elijah Brown a season ago is in his sights for this year.
Yeah, Ford had 9 steals last year on 10 attempts.
Stubbs smacks this one out to center. That's deep enough. It will get the run probably home as it's caught out there. Both runners tag. It's booted around a little bit. Davis scores on the sacrifice fly from J.D. Stubbs. Only took a pitch. Only took 3 batters, and the Beavers retake their lead. It's 2-1, and we're still only 1 down in the inning. Hard of the order up for the Beavers.
Yeah, that was a really tough swing off of Stubbs, and able to get the play out there, bag it, able to hold on to it and not bobble it out of his glove. Ford would have scored as well if it would have dropped, but he advances to third.
Bolin struck out his first at bat.
It's another guy with key experience, and he struck out swinging his first time, but he's another dangerous hitter for Coach Nabrowski's team, and wasn't on the Beavers last year, but still one of the players to keep an eye on. Harvin trying to stay composed, now pitching from the stretch.
A half cut from Bolin went too far, strike 1.
Yeah, he was trying to hold back on it, but it's too late. It went too far. He's still ahead in the count, though, being 2-1.
Fastball up in the zone. Bolin tried to jump on it, just a little bit behind. 2-2. Ford waits over there at third. He got on with a double. Davis has already scored in the inning to make it 2-1 Beavers on the sacrifice fly from J.D. Stubbs. 1 down for Malik Bolin. The runner at third. Swing and a miss.
Good location on Harvin, chasing him down out of the zone. And Bolin goes down swinging for the second time this afternoon.
And that was the splitter that got him.
It's the third punch out for Harvin today, all on the swing.
Inside on Spears with the fastball.
Had a single his last time up in his first at bat. Looking to drive forward here.
Curveball outside for 2-0. Velocity has been decent today for Harvin, right where we expected. High 80s, low 90s. Inside fastball. 3 balls, no strikes. Ford waiting at third base. He's going to be keyed up for anything in the dirt. Spears in the 3-0 takes all the way, and that's ball 4. First walk of the day for Harvin.
Yeah, you got to be really careful on the 3-0. The guys aren't going to swing on that. So now they'll just get him on here, try to get out of the inning here with David Meach. Had a hard fly ball out to right field his last time up. Meach had a very talented career this season at Bluefield. Hit nearly 400 down in Bloomfield, Virginia. He's a really talented player, and Coach Dombrowski is really interested to see what he can bring to the table this season. Playing some really tough competition down there in the Appalachian Athletic Conference down in the South.
Runners in the corners with 2 down for Meach. Fastball inside for strike 2.
Could be a very crucial pitch for Harvin. A 1-2. Ahead in the count here, looking to strand 2 runners here and only limit the damage as much as possible. Good block by Gomez, and it was dropped right there, running at home plate, but didn't let the one to go by him.
Yeah, that's a spot where you need to come up with a block with all the speed that sits over there at third base. And you know Travius Ford, he is itching to score right now.
He's ready.
There goes Spears on the pitch down to second. Gomez had to block it and probably wouldn't have thrown it anyways. Ford would have scored easily had Gomez tried to get Spears over there at second. But that does take away the force out. Put 2 in scoring position for Meach, who's facing, Ugarte. No, it's Meach, sorry. Meach, who's facing a full count.
Yeah, Ugarte's on deck.
Swing and a miss. Big strikeout there. And that is the third out. Tristan Harvin coming up pretty big in a good spot to get his 4th K, but the Beavers do get another run. It's been all Chris Davis. He led it off with a solo shot and then a single, and he comes around all the way to score for the second run for the Beavers as they retake their lead 2-1. It's now time for JJ the Water Boy, presented by Michigan First Credit Union. JJ's out there in right field every single game, being the goodest boy of all the good boys, delivering some water in return for some treats to our umpire. The bestest boy is JJ.
Yeah, I got to keep these guys hydrated to the umpires. And JJ having himself a blast coming back. Year number 5 for him. And seeing all his friends here coming out here today on Bark in the Park here at Jimmy John's Field.
It's been a fun Bark in the Park today. 2-1 Beavers. We'll be right back with the bottom of the third after this.
Companies are competing for talent like never before. With the complexities of handling tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and other HR functions, it's easy to see how a professional employer organization like Tryon Solutions makes all the difference. Tryon empowers businesses of all sizes to attract and retain talent by offering access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Back here on the USPBL Network. Pitching change for the Beavers. It's Rain Mann taking over on the mound for the boys in blue. Mann, 25-year-old right-hander out of Lawrenceville, Georgia. Played in the MLB Draft League with Beavers teammate Tremaine Spears for the West Virginia Black Bears back in 2022.
Another Georgia Gwinnett grad. You know, he helped his team win the 2021 Associate of Independent Institutions title. Team's now playing in the Continental Athletic Conference down in the NAI in Georgia, and he was in his last season with Georgia Gwinnett, had 4 saves, struck out 12 batters in 10 2/3 innings a few years ago. And take a look at his stat line from last season, had a 3.50 ERA, 5-1 record, and 43 2/3 innings pitched. 47 strikeouts compared to 13 walks, and a little of a high opposing batting average of 265, but looking to make an impact here in his first start of the season.
And it's not a huge surprise to see the reliever Mann take over for Gorey this early in the third inning. John Dabrowski said it today. Everybody's going to play. His bench guys are going to get in. He's going to try to throw a lot of arms. This is a Beavers team, along with the Unicorns, who were supposed to play on Friday and didn't get to. So trying to make sure everybody gets an opportunity, gets some live at-bats, some live reps here on the first weekend of the season. Norgren in on the hands, and Judd slides and makes the grab before it hits the dirt. Nice play for Marcus Judd over there at second base.
Yeah, great job by Judd. We talked about it earlier about how he was going to make key plays defensively There it is right there. Not allowing that one to bounce on the dirt. Look at a little slide on that play to get the first out of the inning, but a great play. One of the top fielders here in the league.
1 up and 1 down for the Unicorns brings up Josh Baker. 0 for 1. Had a little pop out to right field his first time up. Baker getting his first professional start today. Was at Middle Tennessee State for his collegiate career. And Alex, as a Michigan State grad, it pains me to say that he was at Middle Tennessee State. I have bad memories with that school.
Yeah, I see. I know a lot is going on.
Smoke to Judd at second. He dropped it. And Baker thought he caught it, so he wasn't running all the way down to first. Judd, it's just impressive to even get a glove on that one, let alone drop it and still make the out.
Yeah, that came out hot, and Judd popped it out, but wasn't sure if it was a line out or he had to make the throw. He made it just in case, but he's made 2 really heads-up plays, and you got to be happy for him and what he brings defensively.
He's someone we knew was highlighted before getting to the USPBL and before starting this season as someone who could do some good things defensively there in the middle of the infield. Bisharat checks his swing for strike 1. He struck out his first time up. That's the only strikeout today for the Beavers pitchers.
And this is a chance for these guys to really showcase their skills both in the batter's box and on the field, and what they can bring to an organization where scouts are looking at you really regularly and constantly. So making highlight plays or plays you can make, it can really impress somebody at the next level and get you on a contract.
Out to center, forward coming in. Quickly, 1, 2, 3. Marcus Judd with a couple nice plays over there at second base. Rain Man with a good start in relief as he gets through his first inning like it's nothing. 3 up and 3 down. We head to the top of the 4th in the USPBL network.
Companies are competing for talent like never before. With the complexities of handling tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and other HR functions, it's easy to see how a professional employer organization like Tryon Solutions makes all the difference. Tryon empowers businesses of all sizes to attract and retain talent by offering access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
They call me Prospects. Since the day I was born as a diver's watch, the challengers of the world have taught me many things. Life is not a numbers game. It's about challenging ourselves. No matter what happens, just follow your heart. These pioneers drive our generation forward. Not by setting records, but by never giving up. Keep going forward. Prospects.
Available at Lucido Fine Jewelry.
New pitcher on the mound for the Unicorns as well. Connor Tomasic takes over on the bump for Tristan Harvin, who had a decent first professional start, was able to rack up 4 strikeouts, only 1 walk. A couple runs on the board thanks to Chris Davis on the offensive side. A solo shot in the first and then a single and a run scored in the third. Puts the Beavers where they're at right now, 2-1. Tomasic, 23 years old, out of Cherville, Indiana, in the northern part of Indiana. Spent his college career in the Big Ten, first 2 seasons at Purdue, and then last year was at Michigan State. So he's maybe got a little disdain as well for the other side with some Middle Tennessee State players.
Yeah, being
the USPBL.
Yeah, he had a great season up in East Lansing. Brennan had 17 appearances, making 9 starts, had a 4-4 record. ERA about 4.5. He did ring up 41 Ks and led the team with 65 innings pitched while yielding 26 base on balls. But he's a guy that has a lot of experience as well, being one of the older guys on the team. and having that Division I experience playing at 2 Big Ten schools at Purdue and MSU.
And we've seen the Division I guys, and in particular the Big Ten guys, be successful. There haven't been a lot, but Kyle Bischoff is one that comes to mind as a pretty good reliever last year and was lights out yesterday in his first start as a pro. He was the closer of the year in college, was Bischoff, and then came here and was the closer for the Mammoths. It was funny talking to Taylor Jellikowski. He said, Kyle's too nice to be a closer. He's not, you kind of have to be not a nice person up on the mound if you want to be a closer and drill through a lineup and win this game. So switch him over to starter, and he was lights out. No walks, 8 strikeouts, 5 innings, and just 3 hits yesterday.
Yeah, when you're trying to close a game, you have to be intimidating to the opposing guys, and you got to be able to get them a little bit nervous, try to get them off balance. But it's really different, starting the game or closing it out in the final to get the final 3 outs of the game. So trying to change him into a nice guy, rather.
Good breaking ball. Get the swing and a miss from Ugarte. Tomasic with a strikeout and his first professional one at that. He's got 3 pitch mix, working on 4. Fastball, slider, and changeup are his main 3, trying to add a cutter, and that's the new thing we're seeing these days. A lot of pitchers add that kind of off fastball, we call it, a sinker, a 2-seam with tail, a 4-seam with some ride, or a cutter. He's working on adding the cutter right now. Still not quite there yet, but he's getting there.
Yeah, it's going to take some time to get your craft all together, and especially for these guys who are continuing to develop and grow every day, and having another pitch in your rotation to use in your arsenal is something very crucial that catches scouts' eyes. So what you can provide, and if you bring something unique to the table.
Through 3 complete innings, 2 runs on 4 hits, and no errors for the Beavers. For the Unicorns, it's a run on 3 hits and no blemishes as well. Tomasic with a 1-1 against Judd. Inside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Judd with a pop out to the second baseman his first time up. He's flashed the leather defensively, still trying to get the offense to come around. Guy who had plenty of offense in college, 130 games, 300-plus career batting average. 2 different schools.
He's somebody special to look out for, and we'll mention how great of a player he was in his collegiate career and what he can bring.
He's got plenty of speed as well, and he's in a favorable spot to get on base and maybe use that speed here. Full count with 1 out.
Yeah, he was very aggressive. Stole 10 bags and he was caught 6 times, but he's a guy that will take chances, will take risks.
Payoff pitch. Got him on the outside corner looking. Strike 3. And Judd will walk back to the dugout instead of down to first base. Back-to-back Ks for Tomasic.
Yeah, he was nearly on his way over to first, and he's greening the bat, just going to throw it over to the dugout and take a stroll, but not so fast by the home plate umpire as he gets caught looking. And
that'll bring up Wilcoxon. Shortstop today for the Beavers, John Dombrowski. Pitch in there for a strike. Tomasic has a pretty interesting way that he found his way to the USPBL. Popped foul on a play, 0-2. He obviously knew Kyle Bischoff from Michigan State. Reese Trahey, another Spartan, has joined those 2 at the USPBL this year. Was familiar with Bischoff in this league. Decided to come try out. He had a tough final season at Michigan State last year. Dislocated his thumb in one of the opening road trips out against UNLV. And with the way Michigan State's roster was structured and just the lack of arms that they had, they needed Tomasic to just stay and pitch. Got him looking outside corner. 3 up, 3 down, all on strikes. Connor Tomasic comes in relief and does damage to the Beavers lineup. Unicorns trailing by a run, 2-1 here in the USPBL network.
We're for people, the pioneers, the underdogs, the players, and the slow and steadies. We're for people, for who they are and who they could become. Yes, we're a bank, and some say our business is all about money, but that's an old idea. Because look past the money, and you'll see real human lives. We see it, because we're for people. Huntington, welcome.
Mon on the mound for the Beavers in his second inning of relief. Went 1-2-3 last inning. Got a pop out to Norgren, a line out to Baker, and a fly out to Bicharat. He'll face Gomez, Brunson, and Baggett here in the fourth, still with a slim one-run lead. The pitching was abundant in the first game yesterday, and it's been pretty good today too, Alex.
Yeah, it really has been. All these guys coming out and to get that first game out of their belt, trying to show what they can bring to the table to the fans this season. And we mentioned, we talked with both coaches, they're going to pitch nearly everyone here today. They had to change their game plan with Friday's game being canceled with the rain and everything, so they had to make some adjustments, and you have to make that when those things happen. They were a little bit disappointed that be the first true game of the season on Friday night, but able to get out here on a nice, beautiful day here in downtown Utica.
First pitch to Gomez, roped out to right. That's a base hit.
It was out of the reach of Judd. Was looking for his third gem of the game, but not so, because Gomez has found a hole on that right center side of the infield into the grass for a leadoff base hit.
The tying run is on for the Unicorns here in the bottom of the fourth. Brings up Alec Brunson. First pitch breaking ball away.
And you always want to be able to get guys on base to start and not try to get back when you have one or two outs. So want to be able to just get guys on early.
That's in there for a strike. Man throws a four-seam, knuckle curve, circle change, slider, and two-seam. Swing and a miss there.
He has 5 pitches that he relies on, and he does really well at knowing what pitch to do and what to throw. So right now, ahead in the count 1 and 2.
Skips away, and that took a big bounce away from Ugarte, and that will send Gomez easily down to second base, tying run in scoring position. Nobody out.
Yeah, this took an unfriendly hop as Ugarte had to chase it down, and Gomez, not a problem, just getting to second base easily. And now we're in scoring position, nobody out.
Brunson last year joined very late to the USPBL. That's off the glove of Mann, and everybody is going to be safe. Took a high hop right in front of the mound. Ryan Mann thought he could make the play. Unable to do so, and Brunson reaches. Now runners on the corners.
Yeah, looked like you had it for a moment, but then it realized that it just went out of his glove, like off the top of it, and just some unlucky breaks for the Beavers. Now, runners on the corners, you bring Baggett, who has a base hit already and scored his first at bat. And they're going to rule that last play a hit.
That makes 5 for the Unicorns today. 2 of them coming in this inning. the first two batters. Now Baggett with runners on the corners and nobody out. The 1-0. Smoked out to right. That'll get by for a base hit. Scores the tying run. Sends Brunson over to second. He'll stop there. 2 on and still nobody out with a run coming across. Unicorns have tied it thanks to Patrick Baggett.
They've had really sound at-bats here in this inning, Brennan, and Baggett doing just that. Finding the hole in the right side, and no problem for Gomez to score, and they've been keep moving along now. They've tied it up and with still nobody out.
How about Baggett in his professional debut? Single and a run scored in the second inning and an RBI single here in the fourth. He's responsible for both Unicorns' runs in some capacity. Brings up Alejandro Lara.
Got a free pass his last time up.
1-0 was fouled back.
And it's been a good day for Baggett. Starting out really strong with those 2 singles. Now the Unicorns as a team now just easing into the game. They were able to tie it up in the second, but then gave it back. So it's been back and forth here. We'll see if the Unicorns can take the lead for a moment here. If they can, a prime opportunity. It's a hitter-friendly count. It'll be at 2-1, and have nobody out and 2 runners on. So a very good situation here for skipper Essie and squad here, and look to try to add some more here.
2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 on. 2 runs on the board for both teams. High fly ball to left. Playable for Davis. Brunson is going to try to tag for third. Nope. Now pulls it back and retreats to second. That throw got in pretty quickly, so a good decision by Brunson, and the Beavers record their first out of the bottom of the fourth.
Yeah, didn't want to risk with that good arm by Davis to throw it over to Wilcoxon. So Brunson made the wise decision, just go back to second. Don't want to run yourself into an out. Well, it's only 1 down, so nothing to worry about yet. So you still got another opportunity.
And that one's outside zone for strike 1 for Nick Caruso, who already has an RBI single today. That came back in the second to plate the first run for the Unicorns. Caruso, we mentioned the DH today, the assistant coach, filling in for a shortened roster as he swings and misses for strike 2. Unicorns waiting on a lot of college guys to finish up their season and get to the USPBL. So a couple of them just went and won the conference tournament. So
yeah, can't really predict when they would be back. No sooner rather than later.
Little flare to center, and Ford has plenty of speed. That's probably a tough play for most any other center fielders, but Travius Ford makes it look like nothing as he just gallops quickly to shallow center to make that easy grab on the pop out.
Yeah, most of the time they stay way back and they have to hurry it down. It would just bloop right in front of you, but Ford with some great speed able to get there and make that play look easy to get that routine fly out. And bring it back to the top of the order, and don't want to let this opportunity go to waste. If you're Utica, you're able to tie it up, but Curiel 1 for 2. Flew out to left his last time up.
Fouls this one back. No balls and 2 strikes. A couple good swings for Curiel. Had the kind of into-out single over the shortstop's head in the first inning, and that fly out to left was hit pretty well back in the second inning.
I liked it as a whole, as guys is just taking their time and trying to take a quality at bat and not just go chasing things outside or in or swinging at the first pitch they see.
He takes high for ball 1.
You're trying to improve yourself, at the plate. And seeing what these guys bring, what these opposing pitchers bring, you just got to be ready, got to be make an impact.
Curiel in 2021 hit .230, 546 OPS. Low walks, high strikeouts in 36 games. But a different player now and trying to showcase the improvement. The 1-2. Outside. Man looked really good in his first inning in relief. 1, 2, 3. Couple good defensive plays behind him from Marcus Judd, but nonetheless, still a 3-up and 3-down inning. But here in his second inning of relief, single, single, single to start, and a run has already come across. Skips away from Ugarte. The runners stay.
Yeah, good job by Ugarte. Oh, once again, another hop over at home plate, but not too far enough for the runners to advance. Oh, it's a full count. And this would be crucial here for Mann. After getting the first 3 guys on base and tying the game up, if he can get it here, runners will be on the move.
They are. That one's to second base. Judd will field and fire and record the third out. So one comes across for the Unicorns. They tie it again at 2. But Mann does get out of the inning with only 1 run scoring. It was Justin Gomez who let things off with a single and eventually came around on 2 after that. Knotted at 2 on the USPBL network as we head to 5.
Throughout your life, from big moments to ones well-earned, we're your financial guardian angel. Alliance Catholic Credit Union.
Connor Tomasic, second inning of relief on the mound for the Unicorns. We're tied at 2 here after the Unicorns offense tied it in the bottom of the 4th. We're here in the 5th. It will be the top of the order. Davis, Ford, and Stubbs. Those 3 are combined 3 for 6 today. Davis with a home run and a single already. Travius Ford had a double in the 3rd.
It's been a good showing for the Beavers at the top of the order, and with Chris Davis, he had started off the game with a bang with the leadoff home run. 2 for 2.
That's inside for ball 1 on Davis. And again, the sample size is really small, but the improvement from Davis already from last year to this year is significant and notable, even though it's only 1 game.
Yeah, he's really made a really key impact, has improved a lot. He also had that really infield single that he beat out Harvin on that first play in his last at bat in the 3rd inning.
Good hitters count for Davis here as well. 3 balls, no strikes. Now make it 1. Swing and a miss, first strike 2. We've seen this a couple times on both sides of the battle, the pitcher and the hitter. Down 0-2, working a walk. Behind 3-0, getting a strikeout. Here's Tomasic trying to do the same, and he just can't on that final pitch. Inside too much with the fastball, and Davis has reached for the 3rd straight at bat here in game 1 of the season.
Yeah, Tomasic had the right idea, but he moved it just a little inside to Davis and not enough to get him out looking. So you shake that off with the leadoff walk, and you try to move on here.
Tomasic started 1, 2, 3, all of them on strikes, and walks the leadoff man. Top of the 5th as Ford looks at strike 1. Travius Ford today 1 for 2, strikeout and a double. Came back in the 3rd, his last time up. Perhaps the most exciting, interesting, electric player coming back to the USPBL this year. He was supposed to be one of the bright young stars last year, and unfortunately his season was cut significantly shorter due to a pretty freak injury. He was tossing underhand slow pitch to his teammates for batting practice as Tomasic steps off on the 0-2. And one of them lined a rope through the L screen that Ford was tossing from behind, and it went through the screen and hit him in the face. It caused a laceration in his eye, broke his nose. He was in the hospital for a couple days, was out for multiple weeks. Had to get surgery on the eye. Came back. Had a good few games back in the late stages of the season. Was a pivotal factor in the Beavers' run to the championship last year. Had a couple postseason home runs, a couple extra base hits late in the regular season for the Beavers. That mattered a lot for them.
Yeah, especially to help them get to the championship and let it all win it. You know, they had a 284 and 24 games with the Beavers. Had 3 big flies, driven in 9 runs, and
he's someone who just absolutely loves the game of baseball. He got a late start on it in life, wasn't quite into it as early as everybody else, but kind of realized he had a knack and a talent for it. And you can see he wears his emotions on his sleeve right there. Thought he should have had that pitch, fouled it back, keeping the at-bat alive, but he thought he should have been on there as there's some action going on in the Beavers bullpen. That's Alex Reinol getting warm. And Travius just wears his emotions on his sleeve, and he works every single day to get better. You know, on a day game today, 1 o'clock, he said he was out there in the cage at 8 in the morning, and it's paying off. His second hit today is that one's over the glove of the third baseman, Larda. Trying to get to third is Davis. The throw goes to second, and Travius Ford has back-to-back hits for the Beavers. Runners on the corners, nobody out.
Yeah, he has a really good hard work ethic by Ford, and he said he was working out in the batting practice this morning, getting ready for today's game. Really excited to be back out on the field. He's looking to improve day in and day out and make himself a better player, and that's what I like from these guys. You know, they're trying to improve themselves to get to where they want to be. Their goal is to be on a major league roster one day.
On the ground to the right, past the glove of a diving Norgren. Stubbs brings home Davis to score. Ford over to second. And that's 3 base runners and back-to-back base hits for the Beavers. Chris Davis has scored for the 3rd time today. All the Beavers' runs have been from the left fielder.
And he had that leadoff home run. He scored on the sac fly off of Stubbs and on the RBI single.
Stubbs with 2 RBIs.
Yeah, so Stubbs has had a good day. And
it's kind of like we talked about yesterday. You look at the 2 lineups between the Mammoths and the Hoppers, and the Hoppers have some standout names that were here last year. Same thing today. The Beavers, some standout names that were here last year. Those are the 3 guys that have done all the damage today. Between Stubbs, Ford, and Davis, Davis has scored all 3 runs, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits, and 6 times they've reached. Ford going for third. The throw sails into left field. Ford's going to get up and come home. Stubbs goes to second, and more damage done from the top of the order for the Birmingham Beavers. Travius Ford manufactured that run all by himself, and it's now 4-2.
He put a lot of pressure on Gomez and had to fire it over Takara, and that one went way over his head, and I think he kind of forced it too much on the throw, and it was an errant over into left, and that scored Ford easily. And
Bolin on the ground to third. Lara looks the runner back to second. Throws Bolin out by 2 steps at first base.
Yeah, good routine play by Lara to throw it over to first, and can't afford to make those kind of mistakes.
That brings up Spears, and that's just the first out on the ground out from Bolin. Spears a single and a walk already today. He's got a man in scoring position. Trying to do some damage.
Yeah, played at Southern University, Division I school from the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
Another one of the guys in the league this year that has some other experience at the professional level. Played in the MLB Draft League in both 21 and 2022.
He was a 2-sport star in high school, played both baseball and football. He's also part of the 40-man national team development program for Team USA in 2014.
Swing and a miss. Tomasic blew it by him. And you talk about the national team. Connor Tomasic, the guy on the mound, played with the Serbian national team back in 2019. Said he's 25% Serbian. His dad was born over there, and that qualifies him to be able to play on the team. He went over there and played in 2019, and Jim Essien was working with the Greek national team at the time, and that's how those two met and came in contact. And Connor Tomasic is here now playing for Skip Johnson, Jim Essien on the Unicorns.
Yeah, really interesting story how he made his impact here and his journey.
And he pumps the third strike past Spears. Big strikeout for Tomasic, who needed in what's been a rough inning. That is the 4th strikeout for Tomasic, 2nd out here in the top of the 5th.
A 2-run game. Now with Meach coming up to the plate and had that error throw by Gomez that scored Ford. We'll see how that impacts the rest of the game. Largest deficit by the Unicorns so far.
If history is any indication, the Unicorns are going to tie it in the bottom of the 6th. Fouled back. It was a run in the top of the 1st for the Beavers, followed by a run in the bottom of the 2nd for the Unicorns. Beavers would get another in the top of the 3rd. Unicorns, bottom 4th, would tie it with a run. Now 2 here in the top of the 5th. Still a runner in scoring position with 2 outs for David Meach, who faces no balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back Ks for Tomasic to end the inning, but not before the Beavers can tack a few on. Chris Davis, for the 3rd time today, reaches and scores. Travius Ford got a single to score Davis and came around on a stolen base and an errant throw. It's 4-2 Beavers here at the USPBL Network.
We build roads, bridges, wind farms, and pipelines, schools to skyscrapers. Our members create monuments. We operate. We're the operators and mechanics behind the advanced heavy machines that move Michigan forward. We maintain boilers and HVAC. Our members run the complex heating and cooling systems that we all depend on. Our training is second to none, and safety is our priority. We are Operating Engineers 324, and we keep Michigan running.
What are the odds that we're neighbors, we've known each other our whole lives, and both tear the exact same things in the exact same knee?
So an ACL tear is an injury to the main stabilizing structure of the knee.
You want a good team around you because then you know that what you're doing is going to help you in the long run.
My message to everyone who's helped me, thank you so much because you guys helped me progress so much.
Also hearing it from a friend that's went through the exact same thing, I think sort of helps that know that there's a bright side at the end.
Beavers take the lead 4-2 over the Unicorns thanks to the offense at the top of the order, Alex. I mean, we talked about it a little bit earlier back in the 3rd inning, and that has continued into the 5th. A combined 5 5 hits, between those guys. 4 runs, 3 of them coming from Davis. 3 of those RBIs of the 4 runs that they have from the top of the order, Davis, Ford, and Stubbs, all playing lights out here in the first game of the season.
Yeah, those are the guys who have better experience coming back, and Stubbs, he's been a part of every run. He had the sac fly and then had the other RBI single, and Travius Ford also having a good day as well in the double and having a couple steals as well, and Chris Davis with the home run. So we mentioned that top 3 of the Beavers, Davis, Ford, and Stubbs, they have been so dominant here today, and the Unicorns haven't really had an answer for them to stop, and something that you want to get to do when they come back up the next time up.
New pitcher for the Beavers, Nick Gajewski, takes over for Ryan Mann on the mound. Nick making his first professional appearance. A local kid, 22 years old, right-hander out of Troy, just down the road. Spent 3 seasons at Rochester University, local NAIA school.
Yeah, not too far in Rochester Hills, part of the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference. In his 12 appearances this season out at Rochester, had a 1-7 record, had 34 strikeouts, and played in 9 starts. Also went to Troy High School, part of the Oakland Activities Association of the MHSAA. So a local guy, not too far from here.
There's a couple local kids who find their way to the USPB. It's a really good mix here at Jimmy John's Field of guys from all over the country, all over the world. We've got Ugarte today from Venezuela. We had catcher yesterday from Dominican Republic. We've got guys from Florida, California, Arizona, Texas. And then there's a couple local kids too. Macomb, Troy, Rochester. Right here next to Utica.
Yeah, it's good to see that the USPBL has gone a lot for international talent. Guys not just within the U.S. but all over the world, and these guys coming in and making themselves known here in downtown Utica. A prime destination, in the Metro Detroit area.
It'll be Norgren, Baker, and Bisharat for Gajewski in his first pro appearance, and it's 2-0 on Norgren right now, who's 0 for 2 today.
These guys have given these fans a show over this past weekend, and looking forward to the rest of the season. To 2 thrilling games yesterday.
That one bounced foul first. Two and one.
And it's also good exposure to the guys not familiar with the state of Michigan to look at this. To look at the USPBL. It's a great league for players to get themselves better and develop. And we've seen a lot of these guys here today.
We always tell the warm weather state guys that you came at the right time. I wouldn't hang around too long in the state of Michigan if you don't have to after the season's over and the weather starts to turn. Talking to Tristan Harvin pregame today, and he said he was here last night to watch opening day, and he said it felt like a winter night for him. And we mentioned it was a little chilly last night, a little bit colder. Today he had a crew neck sweatshirt on, getting ready for the game. It's 70 degrees out.
Yeah.
But he's from the warm weather states. He's not used to this.
It's not really typical in the state of Michigan. You usually see warmer weather by the middle of May, really in the early part. Don't have to worry about starting the season off in the late March, early April, where you're in the really cold weather. You would probably play in snow, but this is a great time to start the season right in the middle of May, right before the Memorial Day holiday, and with a nice warm weather throughout, and playing every weekend, either in day games like this or under the lights on Friday and Saturday nights.
That one under the zone as Norgren was able to work a walk. Baker's ahead 2-0. And speaking of the different guys from the different states, we've got a couple of viewers from around the country. Maricela Floriano watching from Richmond, California. Let's go Jando. #Larda for Alejandro Larda, playing at third base today for the Unicorns. Baker waiting on the 2-0. Popped it high, fouled. Does Stubbs have room over there on the right side? Doesn't look like it. That will scoot over.
Also got some
La Vitrina Naranja says from Venezuela. Let's go, Andreas. Hashtag Valencia. Rosalind Bishop, Travius Ford, Auntie Rosalind Bishop watching from Greenville, North Carolina. Fantastic city. Love Greenville. Let's go, Beavers. Adam Fernandez from Massachusetts. I love independent baseball. The MLB hasn't tainted things. Well, we appreciate you tuning in all the way from Mass out there.
Yeah, all over, not just the U.S., but the entire world is watching these players, with family connections, or just to tune in, just to watch.
Yeah.
Always great to see.
Lance Robinson on Facebook says, let's go Unicorns, watching on TV today, but yesterday's opening day doubleheader was amazing, just like every year. It was a blast yesterday, Lance. We are glad you enjoyed it. Mary Melton is watching from Clarksburg, West Virginia. Sherry Reed Hurt watching from Summerdale, Ohio. Ron Matthew, also Clarksburg, West Virginia. Shout out Clarksburg, tuning in today. Robert McKeon says Vermont, home of Tex Cobb. See, we got plenty. I think, what was that, like 8 or 9 states plus Venezuela tuning in?
Vermont, North Carolina, Massachusetts, California, all over the place.
Back-to-back walks for Gajewski here in the 5th, and the Unicorns have a chance. The tying run is over at first base. Swing and a miss for Bicharat.
Bicharat 0 for 2. Struck out swinging in the first and flew out to center his last time up. Well, haven't seen him much yet of what he can bring offensively.
Joel Concepcion says tuning in from DR, Dominican Republic. Rooting for Judd, who I just bumped into on IG. Marcus Judd, the second baseman for the Beavers today. Couple nice defensive plays we've seen from him. So there's another country, not the United States. We got Venezuela, Dominican Republic.
Yeah, Judd has been sensational today, and have some fans watching back in the DR.
We appreciate all of you tuning in from all over the place. It's been a good weekend so far. Swing and a miss for Bicharat. He tipped that one, so he'll stay in.
Yeah, Ugarte unable to get it in the glove for strike 3, so
he must have barely caught that, because we're pretty close here, perched behind home plate, a couple dozen feet or so, and you can usually hear it from up here. Barely heard anything there, but able to stay alive is Bicharat, the 1-2. Gajewski is giving it every pitch, everything he's got. That hat flying off and those long locks on display for everybody. 2-2.
Blue wants to get this middle order Bicharat guy out, and just getting that first out will make it a little bit easier on him.
Bicharat staying alive. Seen 6 pitches. He'll see at least 7.
Yeah, Bicharat, it's not going to go down easily. He's going to make you work every at bat.
The 2-2 again. Out into right. That's in a tough spot. Aiming for the gap, and that will drop, get all the way to the warning track. Runners rounding the bags. Coming around third to score is Norgren, and a big RBI double from Jacob Bicharat puts one on the board for the Unicorns. It's 4-3. They've cut the deficit to just a run, and still 2 on with nobody out.
Great job by Bicharat finding the gap in right center, and he was just perfect at that time, all the way to the wall. Look at a misplay out by Meach. Couldn't get to it originally.
Still nobody down for Justin Gomez. A base open over there at first, and 2 in scoring position. First pitch just outside.
Gomez singled and scored back the last inning. He started off with a leadoff single. He got things going.
There's been some really impressive at-bats today up and down the Unicorns lineup. Everybody has at least reached base. 7 batters have gotten a hit. The only ones that haven't are Norgren, who reached on a walk and just scored, and Josh Baker, who reached on a walk this inning and sits over there at third. Swing and a miss for Gomez.
Yeah, it took a big rip on that. He really wanted that one to go.
That's in for strike 2.
Good location right at the knees.
Gomez, we mentioned his experience in the minors. Also had some independent ball experience last summer. Played in the Frontier League with the Joliet Slammers and the Florence Yawls as he faces a full count here.
Brunson would be next, but Gajewski just facing a full count. You want to be able to just stay composed. If you can get in and out either way.
Payoff pitch. High, and he walked him. Bases loaded. Still nobody out for Gajewski. And that will bring out John Dombrowski. We'll see if he opens the bullpen door.
Yeah.
And it looks like he is going to.
3 walks and then the double by Bisharat. And we'll see if he gives him the baseball, and they're just having an infield visit here.
A longer conversation than expected. And Gajewski's going to stay on the mound, which is really interesting. We saw the same thing yesterday. Luke Drummond against the Mammoths was out there with 2 on and 2 out at second and third, and the game tied at 2 in his first start here in the USPBL. He was a reliever last year, and Ryan Kotke came out and was ready to take him out. And I asked Drummond about it today. I said, what did Kotke say to you? He said he was going to pull me, and I told him no. And sure enough, next batter was a chopped ground ball back to the pitcher. Drummond fielded it and flipped to first to get out of the inning. Gajewski's looking for some similar type of magic right here.
Yeah, trying to get out of this jam and already allowed 1. But the difficult about it is out of here is the bags are full and there's nobody out. So difficult situation to be in.
Nowhere to put Brunson. The infield is drawn in on the corners. The middle infielders at double play depth. The 2-0. Well outside. 3 balls, no strikes. And the command just isn't there for Gajewski right now.
Being his first game at the professional level, just don't want to try to do too much. You want to be able to have a great outing. But he's just trying to.
And he will walk in a run. 4 pitches, and Brunson works an RBI with the walk. The 4th one of the inning for Gajewski. And there's more stirring going on over in the Beavers bullpen.
How about that? We're tied up again at 4. Can see if the Unicorns can get their first lead of the game.
Fouled back by Baggett. 2 for 2 today. Single and a run in the second. Single and an RBI in the 4th. Trying to add to that total today. Pretty good debut for him at the professional level. The 0-1. Thought about it, didn't go.
An excellent chance to make it a greater day, for him. And already he's driven in 1, but With the bases loaded and nobody out. You get one through the middle, probably getting at least 2.
2 balls, 1 strike. You see the bullpen getting ready.
Alex Reinl, we saw earlier, warming up.
I think that's John Bucalaire, who was sitting down as well. 2 balls, 1 strike. Baggett takes strike 2 on the inside part of the plate.
Kajewski needs to get at least this out here.
Baggett waits. Kajewski outside edge. Another full count. This will be the second full count of the inning. And 5th 3-ball count with 4 walks already. 3-2. Smacked out to right. This one is caught by Meach, but it's deep enough to get the run home. Baggett gets another RBI, his second of the day on the sacrifice fly to right field. It moves a couple runners up as Bicharat scores and Gomez moves over to third.
Yeah, it was a good at-bat by Baggett. Able to give the Unicorns, like I said, their first lead and able to move Gomez 90 feet from home. It's only the first out of the inning for the Beavers. Going to be batter number 7 on the inning coming up, as it looks like we're going to have a pitching change for the Beavers.
So Gajewski's day is done. A tough debut for him as he comes out, and it looks like it'll be Alex Reinl coming in. When we come back, Unicorns have taken the lead for the first time today. It's 5-4 in the bottom of the 5th with 1 out here on the US PBL Network. Alex Reinl takes over on the mound. 24-year-old native of Brazil, Indiana. So we talked about the different states and countries we have. We have Brazil, but just not too far down the road in Indiana for Reinl, 24 years old, right-hander.
Yeah, coming from Franklin College in Division III in the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference. Looking at last season he had in his senior season, went 2-2 and 22 appearances in relief and 32 2/3 innings of work. An ERA just under 4. There's a good strikeout to walk ratio of 30-7. So he's going to be a guy that has done really well in relief, but comes into a sticky situation here after the Unicorns have taken the lead back.
This gives us a chance to check in on some of the other comments on Facebook and YouTube as Reinl continues to warm up. We talked about discussion today on the comments has been, where is everybody watching from? We got plenty of different states and even countries tuning in today. And Christian Gibbons says watching from downtown Utica, Michigan, just down the road. So not too far from here. That's our director, Gibby, chiming in. Beverly Silver Fox Car says watching from Florida, Juddy, hashtag number 21. Got a couple more on YouTube. Said cheering for Alex Reinl from Brazil, Indiana. Heidi Johnson. Well, Heidi, he's about to pitch right here in just a few moments. More from Clarksburg, West Virginia. Brittany Ship tuning in from New York City. Elizabeth Davis. Let's go CD for Chris Davis on the Beavers. Joyce Ramirez says let's go Unicorns cheering for Alejandro Lara from Watsonville, California. And in Concord, California, my great-nephew Hondo Lara playing on third base. Where can I get a Unicorns jersey, says Florence Minson. USBBL.com, Florence. Get your Unicorns gear there. Or find your way to the ballpark. Come out, spend a weekend here in Michigan. Got fantastic summers, fantastic ballpark here at Jimmy John's Field. Plenty of gear and attire at the team store. Here is Alejandro Lara up to bat. 1-0, smacks this one out to left. Is it hit too hard? It is. Davis makes the catch. Tagging and scoring safely is Gomez. So a sac fly for Lara gets him an RBI. Second out of the inning. But that is the fourth run to come across.
Yeah, it's been on a show for the Unicorns. Good at bat by Lara just to get Gomez home, to get some more insurance here. A 4 spot here in this inning alone.
Brunson was unable to advance on the sacrifice fly, so he stays over at first. Back-to-back sac flies for the Unicorns. Caruso out to left, and Davis took a bit of a bad line to it. That drops just in front of him, keeping the inning alive and flipping the lineup over is Caruso with his second hit of the day.
Yeah, coming in to step into the lineup today with the shortened roster for the Unicorns. Just done really well. 2 for 3 now with 2 singles to left. Well, I mentioned earlier, local guy from Sterling Heights, prepped at Warren D. LaSalle, wasn't one of the top schools at the time, and they won a state championship the year after he graduated, then went to Macomb Community College down the road in Warren, and had some experience at Youngstown State. So brings a lot to the table, a lot of experience. Going to be mentoring these other guys, or stepping in these shoes in this professional league for the first time. Going to be interesting to see how he does this season.
Out to right. That goes past Stubbs. Covering the bag is Reinhold. Did they get him? They did. What a play. Marcus Judd raced over. It got past Stubbs. And how about the heads-up play from the pitcher, Alex Reinhold, to get over there, step on the bag, and record the out, preventing another run from scoring.
That's a huge play. Looked like that was going to be another run, but it stops it right there. But what a huge inning for the Unicorns nonetheless. Despite that spectacular play by Judd over to Reinhold to end the damage.
They get 4 across and take the lead. It's 6-4 Corns here in the 5th.
There are things you can rely on in this world, like your dog being happy to see you, coffee getting you through the day, and the government changing business regulations. And when it comes to navigating those regulations, you can rely on Tryon and its team of attorneys. Tryon can also tackle time-consuming HR tasks like payroll and employee benefits, so you can stay focused on growing your business. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Fans enjoying the bark in the park today. Celebrate good times. Here's, I'm assuming, Caden enjoying his time over by the Unicorns dugout. The Unicorns are enjoying their time in the dugout. Up 6-4 right now after that 4-run 5th inning. And the Beavers, who have had a good offensive day, are going to try to turn things around here.
Yeah, the Unicorns have been really feeling good about themselves. No, they've been down for a lot in this game, but they came back and got a huge inning last inning. Now trying to stay composed here against this Beavers team who comes right back.
It'll be 7, 8, 9 hitters. Andreas Ugarte, Marcus Judd, Ben Wilcoxon, for the Beavers, barring any substitutions. Fouled back by Ugarte, who's 0 for 1 today. Did reach on a hit by pitch in his first at-bat. Going against Connor Tomasic in his third inning of relief work. Just the second pitcher for the Unicorns to go out there today. Ahead 0-2. Outside a ball and 2 strikes. Tomasic has a fan in the chat. Andrea, I think Sakopoulos. I'm not totally sure if that's how you pronounce it. Forgive me if I butchered that. Says she's watching from St. John, Indiana. Go Connor Tomasic. As this one's popped up to right. Brunson catches it for 1 out.
Having a good day out here in the ballpark. Fans coming out, bringing their dogs out for Bark in the Park, having a great time. Able just to be back here to watch baseball here in this opening weekend of the 2023 USPBL season. Fans are given a treat here once again today after the 2 great games to start last night between the Wally Mammoths and the Diamond Hoppers. So
Judd, first pitch swinging. That one's deep out to right. Brunson giving chase to the corner. Off his glove. Judd rounding second. He's going to try to get to third. He'll stop right there. Brunson did a pretty nice job to quickly get that ball up there, but Marcus Judd hacks a double out to right field to get in scoring position.
Yeah. It was a tough play by Brunson. Looked like he was going to be able to make the catch as he was chasing it down the right field line, just off the top of his glove, and Judd.
You could see him. He put on the brakes heavily when he got to second base. This is a ballpark, we talked about it last night, that does not lend itself to triples. The gaps are just not deep enough in left and right center. You can see him there. Some ballparks, those gaps will go a little bit deeper on the angle, jut out more, which means a longer run for the fielders and more chance for the base runners to get to third. But really the only place you're going to get a triple here is if you bury it in right field, just like Judd did there. But how about Brunson quickly getting it back in? And Judd got the stop sign from head coach John Dombrowski over there at third base.
Yeah, Judd was wanting to go for 3, but
I thought he was going to get there.
Looking at his speed, how fast he is, but I think the wise decision not to test the arm of Brunson.
Wilcoxon on the ground moves the runner over 90 feet as he grounds out. 4-3 goes the put out for the second out. Lineup flips over to Chris Davis, who has been a monster today. 2 for 2, plus a walk, 3 runs scored, and a home run. Led things off with a solo shot in the first, then a single and a run scored in the third, then a walk and a run scored last inning. Chance for an RBI here with 2 down and to cut the deficit here in the 6th.
The largest deficit for the Beavers today after giving it up to the Unicorns. Good stop by Gomez. As Judd was slowly going to think about heading home, but makes the decision to go back. Two for 2 for the leadoff hitter.
Smacked out to right. That one's pretty deep. Going back is Brunson. Before the wall. No, it's gone. Chris Davis, a 2-home run day, ties the game at 6.
What a day for Davis. Out to right center. Meach was trying to rob that one, trying to climb up the wall and make a spectacular grab, but unfortunately couldn't do that. And Chris Davis, the second one on the afternoon.
I don't want to be too punny here, but this is an ESPN-worthy performance from Chris Davis, who, for those of you that are not familiar with him, who was here in the league last year, is son of ESPN's host, Reese Davis. Reese has made a couple appearances at the ballpark watching his son, and hopefully he's here today because this is by far the best game Chris Davis has ever had at the professional level. 3 for 3, 4 runs scored, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs total. And the top of that lineup continues to do damage. Now Travius Ford up. He's done damage today. He's 2 for 3 with a run scored.
And that's been the story for the Unicorns defensively. How have they been able to stop these guys? And they really haven't had an answer, and I've said that a lot throughout the game, and you saw that through the first time through the order. And
you see that infield base hit for Ford there. You know that's a tough play as it gets over the glove of Tomasic. Charging from second was Norgren, and you know that's not an easy play for him to make regardless, but Ford so fast, that just rushes those fielders and makes it that much more difficult to get the out. Adds a little bit of pressure, and Ford finds a way on. This one hit well to right center field. Going back is Baggett, just in front of the track. He'll collect the third out as Stubbs gave it a ride. Chris Davis, the highlight of the day by far. His second home run of the game. A 2-run blast to tie it at 6th here in the 6th. We'll head to the home half. Unicorns batting after this.
There are things you can rely on in this world, like your dog being happy to see you, coffee getting you through the day, and the government changing business regulations. And when it comes to navigating those regulations, you can rely on Tryon and its team of attorneys. Tryon can also tackle time-consuming HR tasks like payroll and employee benefits, so you can stay focused on growing your business. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Alex Reinol on the mound, trying to keep this game level. 6-6 in the bottom of the 6th. He'll face Norgren, Baker, and Bisharat. All three of those guys scored last inning, along with Justin Gomez, who's waiting in the wings in the 5-hole.
And the Unicorns batted around. Well, all 9 guys had a chance in the last inning in that 4-run 5th inning, but a quick answer by the Beavers in the last half inning, thanks to the 2-run homer by Chris Davis, his second on the day. And it's just been a really entertaining game to watch, and the fans are giving a show here today.
We've had a run of some sort in every inning. Beavers had one in the 1st, 3rd, 2 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th. The Unicorns had one in the 2nd, 1 in the 4th, 4 in the 5th. Now we're tied at 6. Here in the bottom of the 6th. Inside, 2 balls, 1 strike on Cam Norgren, who was 0 for 2, but had that walk with the run last inning.
That one nearly hit him on the side, had to move out of the way.
The righty Reinol throws sinker, slider, changeup, 4-seam. Has that kind of unorthodox delivery. Interesting arm slot. That's got to be difficult for the right-handers to pick up. But Norgren coming from the left side, smacks that one out to center. Forward a couple steps back. Norgren put a good swing on it. Got a good count, got a good pitch, but unable to drop it in, and that's a hard fly out.
Yeah, Norgren's had some good at-bats. Just Ford was in the right place at the right time and took a few steps to his left, and he's just making the routine play, and all even at 6, and we've seen 17 hits combined so far. A lot of offense to show here this afternoon. Kind of a question mark what you would see these guys come out here in their first game of the season.
Baker takes ball one low, a ball and a strike.
Because I sometimes get these guys a game or two to get into the swing of things and get them fully eased in, but
Baker smokes it high out to right. That is deep, going back. Does it have enough carry? It does. Josh Baker with a dinger. His first professional home run. And now the Unicorns have retaken the lead. Offense galore in this game. It's 7-6.
He just skied that one off the bat. And it was a good location off of Rhino. And looking that out and right, it was just not sure where that was going to go. Meach was just looking for it. And next thing you know, it's in the lawn seats.
It was so high that I just wasn't sure that it was going to have enough distance to get out of there, and it sure did, hitting the berm out there right.
It just carried, It's not a windy day by any means, but you got the benefit of the doubt that time, and Beach was unsure if that was just going to be near the warning track. He would have at least have a chance to make the catch, but ran out of room, ran out of real estate. We're at the 320 sign.
Bisharat on the 1-1 inside. So the two lefties, Norgren, the switch hitter, batting left against the righty Reinhold. Gave it a good swing, and then Baker gave it a great swing, a home run. Finally, Reinhold gets to face the righty here with Bisharat. And he puts a good swing on it out into left. Back-to-back hits for the Unicorns. And the inning continues with Bisharat on first base.
Yeah, found that hole between short and third, and that's daylight for any hitter. You'll find that opening, and I like how the Unicorns have made adjustments. Started out the game a little bit slow, but these guys have eased into it and gotten back into it, and that was a big question mark for this team that lost a lot from last season, and having to fill those shoes of a team that went 28-16, was on the verge of winning 4 championships in a row, and to come in today with guys out or missing in the college tournament, finishing up. But they're giving the Beavers everything they got here to start this season.
That one just dribbles foul from Gomez. Justin Gomez today 1 for 2, but 2 runs scored. Singleton scored in the 4th, walked and scored last inning in the 5th. He's batted in 3 consecutive innings. Trying to keep this inning going. It's Bisharat over at first. High out to center. Ford ranging over it. And he's got it for the second out.
Making it look easy. Got in center. Ford being in the right spot. Always has a good vision of where the ball is going to be.
It's Jake Fiorito and Carsey Walker down there, getting warm in the Unicorns bullpen. 2 returners. Carsey Walker we would consider a half returner. Wasn't here the entire year, but for some of it. Jake Fiorito was here all year long. A little mix of starting and relieving for the Unicorns. Looking like he might be coming in the top of the 7th. Brunson takes strike 1. Make it 2.
Yeah, had a bases loaded walk this last time up. Also had a single in the fourth.
Swing and a miss. 3 nasty pitches from Reinhold to get out of the inning. But another run is done. Baker, a solo shot to right field, blasted onto the lawn, and the Unicorns retake the lead 7-6. On the USBBL Network, we'll head to the 7th.
How do these business owners find the time for peace of mind? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with Tryon, one of the nation's top professional employer organizations, provides access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans and its team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Got to be happy if you're sitting in those seats with how entertaining this game has been today. 13 runs in total, and we're just about ready to start the 7th inning. It's 7-6 Unicorns, thanks to the solo shot from Josh Baker last inning. In the top half of that inning, it was 2 runs for the Beavers on a 2-run blast from Chris Davis that tied the game at 6. Now it'll be Jake Fiorito on the mound taking over for Connor Tomasic. He'll face Bolin, Spears, and Meach in the top half of the 7th. Fiorito, a returner last year. Woodstock, Illinois native. Went to Clark University, where a couple different players from the USPBL have gone. Last year, 18 appearances, 12 of them starts. So about double the starts as relief appearances. Did record a save, sub-5 ERA. Walks and strikeouts were both a little bit above league average for Fiorito. He was just consistent all year long. Didn't wow you with any stats. Would have a good start here and maybe is not as good a start later, but he was able to be consistent, get the job done, and stay a member of that pitching staff all year long. And the Unicorns pitching staff was one that had a decent amount of turnover throughout the course of the year, especially from where they started the year.
Yeah, they had some different guys come in to help get to the success they had, and Fiorito was a key part of it. 54 innings pitched for him and 39 strikeouts for him as well. No, the ERA, like I said, was over 4, but something he wants to improve on here in his 2nd season in this league, and does it right there with a punch-out.
3 pitches and a strikeout for Bolin. 3rd time for him today. First strikeout for Fiorito this season. 1 up and 1 down brings up Tremaine Spears. Spears got some fans in the chat. Roxy Segura watching from Texas.
He's cheering.
That's got to be like our 12th state.
Yeah, he's cheering. Yeah, she's cheering for Tremaine Spears right now, and
got a couple different states, 2 different countries at least. Spears today, single, walk, strikeout. Still trying to add something to the scoreboard. Plenty of Beavers have done that. It's mainly been the guys at the top of the order.
We'll see if the Beavers can do it again. You know, they were down last inning, then they got the lead back. And
hard hit to third. That's picked up by Lara. Throw to first. Got him. Nice stretch as well from Bisharat. Good defensive play all around on the 5-3 putout for the second out.
What a great defensive play by Lara. We're going to take a look at the replay here in just a second as Theorito able to get a good location on the pitch at the heart of the plate. Took one hop over. Lara down on the ground. That's a difficult throw over to the first baseman to get the out. Nothing easy as Bisharat was able to scoop it up.
Spears sure hit it hard. Caught a lot of that baseball, but not hard enough. Larda swallowed it over there. David Meach batting now. He's 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a flyout. Pops this one up. Don't think there's going to be room for Lara. He's going to give it a chase. Those slides. What a catch! Alejandro Lara with a couple nice plays here in the 7th. The diving stop and throw, and then the sliding catch just before the diamond tables records the third out.
Lara, impressive. A lot of space out here on the outside and able to just chase it down. A lot in the backstop to make what a grab.
It's the 7th inning stretch. Lara better go stretch in that dugout. He was sprawling all over the place for the Unicorns. They're up 7-6 in the middle of the 7th here on the USPBL Network.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
Back here on the USPBL Network, Brian Camacho on the mound for the Beavers, pitching against his former team, the Utica Unicorns, who he was with last year for almost the entirety of the season. Left a little bit early before the season was over to get some rest. Obviously pitching against the Unicorns, but the only former teammate he might see is Alec Brunson, who was the last out in the last inning, so not guaranteed Camacho faces him. Everybody else is brand new. Baggett, who's had a good day, looks at 2 balls outside.
The sacrifice fly out to right. And this last time up, Camacho coming in at 6'1", 195, right-hander from Puerto Rico. Prepped at Fairmount State University in West Virginia, D2 school.
There's also a defensive substitution for the Beavers. Shoma Yoshida has taken over at second base for Marcus Judd. We mentioned that John Dabrowski said everybody's going to play today. He also mentioned that backup catcher Alex Crump would get in. He's behind the dish now as well. So Crump has taken over for Andreas Ugarte. And we'll see both those guys, Crump and Yoshida, batting next inning. They're due up in that order.
Yeah, Coach Dombrowski getting those guys an opportunity here. You know, was a good day for Judd. Had some key defensive plays earlier in the game. Also had that double as well. So what a great day for him. And now Crump taking over behind the dish.
So Baggett with some speed over there at first. Camacho plunks Lara, who had the dazzling defensive plays in the top half of this inning, and now gets on base for the second time today. Reached on a walk his first at bat. Had a sac fly in the fifth. Now hit by pitch. Any way to get on. Unicorns have 2 on, nobody out.
Yeah, looking to get some insurance here as well. With 2 runners on and up 1. Thanks to the home run by Baker in the last inning.
Now Caruso batting for the 4th time today. 2 singles. This one up the middle. Double play ball. Yoshida flipped to first. Got him. Nice turn on 2 for the Beavers.
That's crucial on that 6-4-3. Will Coxon didn't rush that one. An accurate throw. A little toss over to Yoshida. Then over to first base. Over to Stubbs to get the huge double play. Now that changes things a little bit now with a runner on third, 2 outs. So that was much needed by the Beavers. Now can they get out of this inning unscathed?
So they did advance Baggett over to third, which is important because of the speed that he has. The lineup flips over for Curiel. 1 for 4 today. Couple ground outs and a fly out. Singled his first at bat. Don't often get to see guys with 5 at bats by the 7th inning. Chance for maybe even 6 for some of these guys, but 13 runs on the board. The offense has been a lot today. 19 hits, 9 for the Beavers, 10 for the Unicorns.
Yeah, they've been coming out of the gates.
And he hit him again. Camacho, for the 2nd time today, hits a batter.
That one has to sting. But Curiel will just walk it off.
That brings up the switch hitter, Cam Norgren. Batting left, Camacho on the right side. We were talking yesterday, Taj Porter, the switch hitting catcher for the Hoppers. Any switch hitter, we've got 2 in the league right now, Norgren and Porter. We didn't have any last year, so that's always fun. But any switch hitter right now is pretty much just a lefty with all the righty arms they're going to see this year. The only lefty we saw earlier today is already done. Zach Gorey got the start for the Beavers. 2 innings, 3 hits, a run, a walk, a strikeout for Gorey was the final line.
Interesting to see what the switch hitters we have with 2 now here in this league, and kind of not you see a lot anymore. Although there's been some guys, at the major league level that have been switch hitters over the years, but able to do that here at a young age.
High pop-up. Shallow left center. Wilcoxon, the shortstop, is under it. That'll be the 3rd out. Unicorns scare the Beavers a little bit, but they don't get any runs across. It's still just a 1-run advantage for last season's regular season champion facing the postseason champion. Rematch of the championship last year, Beavers and Unicorns on the USPBL Network.
Throughout your life, from big moments to ones well earned, we're your financial guardian angel. Alliance Catholic Credit Union.
It'll be Carsey Walker for the Unicorns in the 8th. Beavers have 7, 8, 9 hitters. Instead of Andreas Ugarte, it'll be Alex Crump. Instead of Marcus Judd, it'll be Shoma Yoshida. And then Ben Wilcoxon, the shortstop who just recorded the last out, will be up to bat. There you see Crump getting ready. He'll be first.
Take a look at Carsey Walker here where we have a second Brennan coming in at 6'1", 180. He's a Michigan guy. He's from Saugatuck. Went to Saugatuck High School. And also another Clark University grad from the NAIA. In his senior season appeared in 18 games out of the pen. 4-1 record. Did have a save. An ERA at 2.67. And struck out 10.7 batters per 9 innings. And held batters to just a 261 average in his senior season at Clark. Going to be facing off against another Michigan guy, Alex Crump from Grand Rapids.
First pitch to Crump, checked swing. It goes to short. Fielding and firing and getting was Curiel. That was close. The crowd groans as they thought Crump beat it out, and he thought he did too. Instead, it's the first out, 1 up and 1 down on 1 pitch.
Yeah, Curiel took like a second or two before making the throw over the Bisharat, and that made it closer than expected. And Crump gave it a good effort down the line. But we were just beating him by about half a step or so.
Shoma Yoshida taking ball 1. 25-year-old native of Irvine, California. Played 3 years at Concordia Irvine. To second base. Fielded on an extra hop by Norgren.
2 quick outs for the Beavers. And a check swing by Crump, and a couple pitches later, already have 2 outs on the board.
Put out goes 4-3 for the second out, brings up Ben Wilcoxon.
He's looking for his first hit today.
Carsey Walker wasn't here very long in the USPBL last season. 3 appearances, only 5 total innings. Just gave up 7 hits, 2 earned runs. Did give up a solo shot, a home run to Dakota McFadden when he was a woolly mammoth. McFadden would eventually switch to the Beavers later in the year and win a championship with them. The 1-1 to Wilcoxon, high and tight, ball 2.
And McFadden was a very sensational player last season.
Was with the Savannah Bananas before the USPBL and now goes back there after, down there in Savannah, Georgia, playing down there with the Bananas right now. He was fun to watch here last year. Home Run Derby champion. It's worked full for Wilcoxon. 2 down, nobody on. Nothing doing for the Beavers this inning. We're at risk of this being our first scoreless inning. This one out to right, gets by. Wilcoxon keeps it alive with the single to right field. Turns the lineup over for Chris Davis, who, should we just put him on base right now? Where should we put him?
Put him anywhere, I guess. He's been tough to stop. The 2 homers, infield single. He hasn't been retired here today, so.
They get that ball to the dugout for Wilcoxon, his first pro hit. Davis, solo shot to left. Single and a run scored in the 3rd inning. Walk and a run scored in the 5th. 2-run shot in the 6th. 3 RBIs, 4 runs scored, and quite the start to the year.
Couldn't have asked for a better start if you're Davis.
Walker works Wilcoxon back.
And he has been really fun to watch today, and how he takes his approach every time he steps up to the plate.
And Chris Davis again gets on base. That drops in fair territory for a single. Wilcoxon coming around third. They're going to hold him there. Davis cruises into second base, and an unreal day that this guy has had. A double, and he is now a triple away from the cycle. Do you think he gets one more at bat in the 9th?
Well, we'll see. Well, that would be really, I would put an exclamation point on an already great day he had. And looking at his last hit, that was just hugging down the hot corner on the third baseline. Just stayed fair to keep this inning alive. No, looked like Walker was going to make quick work on the Beavers, but they're pulling out a 2-out rally here and looking to take the lead back, and nobody else, and Travius Ford stepping up, who's also had a great day.
Ford today struck out his first time up. Since then, double, single, runs scored in the 5th. Trying to bring home his first RBI of the year in this at-bat. Walker worried about those runners. Speed at both bases. Wilcoxon and Davis. Ford chopped on the ground, foul.
These are the kind of situations that you prepare for. And Walker, got to get out of this here.
A ball and a strike. Ford waits in that right-handed batter's box. That upright stance. Walker delivers, swing and a miss for strike 2.
He wanted that one really bad.
I think every time Travius Ford swings the bat, he thinks he can hit it out of the ballpark, and he wants it really bad.
Yeah, that's what I like about him. He's always thinking about what he can do better.
Ford uses his 1 timeout here on the pitch clock.
Always finding ways to look back at film and say, what can I have done better in this situation? How can I improve? And it was working out today earlier in the game, earlier before game time, and having that determination and pride and striving what he wants to do.
Swing and a miss. Big strikeout for Carsey Walker right there. The Beavers scary threaten the Unicorns. They put 2 in scoring position with one of the most dangerous hitters in the lineup at the plate, and Walker sends him down swinging. It's 7-6 as we head to the bottom of the 8th. Here on the USPBL Network, it's been a good one. Don't go anywhere.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
Make your move with a quick and easy mortgage from Genesis Credit Union. We have mortgages to fit your life. Genesis Credit Union. Visit us today.
They call me Prospects. Since the day I was born as a diver's watch, the challengers of the world have taught me many things. Life is not a numbers game. It's about challenging ourselves. No matter what happens, just follow your heart. These pioneers drive our generation forward, not by setting records, but by never giving up. Keep going forward. Prospects.
Available at Lucido Fine Jewelry.
We're for people, the pioneers, the underdogs, the players, and the slow and steadies. We're for people, for who they are and who they could become. Yes, we're a bank, and some say our business is all about money, but that's an old idea. Because look past the money, and you'll see real human lives. We see it, because we're for people. Huntington, welcome.
Bottom 8th with the 1-run lead. This is, as it stands, the last chance for the Unicorns to pad that lead, as they got it courtesy of Josh Baker. Solo shot in the 6th. Finally had a scoreless inning in the 7th, top of the 8th, as John Bucalaire takes over on the mound for the Beavers, a reliever who John Dombrowski and this Beavers team in general is very excited to have with them. We had the pleasure of talking to Bucalaire pregame today. Very nice guy, and very insightful about the game of baseball and about his process and his pitches in general, and we're excited to see what he's got. Comes out of Dearborn, Michigan, spent 5 years at Madonna, well-versed with the program here with John Dombrowski and Taylor Jellikowski and Justin Karn from the Mammoths. First pitch fouled back by Baker, who had that solo shot in the 6th.
And Frankie Leska as well. He also went to Madonna's on the assistant coach on the Beavers. And Coach Dombrowski said he was a great player, had a great spring training. Looking for his fastball and slider, other pitches he brings to the table. Coming from a very talented program out in Livonia, not too far from here at Madonna University. Also went to Divine Child High School, who's also seen some key pro athletes in the Detroit area with Eric Haas and Aiden Hutchinson.
He's had some professional experience already. He was in the Pioneer League with the Glacier Range Riders last year, then moved over to the American to play with the Sioux City Explorers. His teammate Malik Bolin had a short stint with Sioux City this summer. Smoked out to right center field. This one is deep. Baker puts this one over the wall. Second time today. Back-to-back home runs for Josh Baker. Extends the Unicorns' lead. It's 8-6 here in the 8th.
He has himself a 2-homer day just like that. Ford just let that one fly over the right center field wall and took that one for a ride off of Bucalaire.
Baker started this day with a hard line out at second base, popped out to right field, then walked and scored, and since then, home run, both solo shots. It's 8-6 Unicorns.
And that's going to be really crucial coming into the 9th. Having that extra run, extra cushion. And you bring in your closer for Coach Essien when we get to that point. Want to have enough breathing room as possible to give your closer a chance. Well, let's see if the Unicorns can tack on some more here.
And that is a pitch clock violation on Jacob Bisharat, and with 2 strikes, that's a strikeout for John Bucalaire.
And that's something that the pitch clock this year, new in every league throughout baseball, and that's something that players have to get adjusted to. They used to have to take a lot of time if they want, take as many timeouts if they want, but these new pitch clock rules, it's something they have to adjust to.
Davis comes in, makes the grab for the second out on the in-to-out swing from Gomez. Quickly a pitch in and out. Now there's 2 down.
And we saw that a lot in spring training in the pros where guys...
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is the spring training is just not as long in the USPBL, and it's not as many live at-bats. I think the guys just aren't quite used to it yet. The majors, I think we saw a lot of the pitch clock violations, both pitcher and hitter in spring training, but they had enough games to get used to it by the time the season started. There haven't been as many since we've been in the regular season.
Yeah, you get about a month in the major league level. You get about a couple weeks just to get ready, get used to. You practices to prepare for in between games in the season. But
I was talking to Bryant Schellenbarger, who works in the ballpark on his off days, right fielder for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Had a pretty good game yesterday. And asking him about the clock. He didn't get a violation yesterday, but said he definitely thought it felt different, and especially in that first at-bat. What was surprising to me is he talked about the walk up is actually the part where you feel rushed. You feel like, oh, I got to hurry up and get to the batter's box before you even take your first pitch. And then once you're in there, you're just always thinking about the clock and thinking about 8 seconds, 8 seconds, 8 seconds, and trying to make sure you're ready. Buechelaer sends Brunson down on swings, but not before Josh Baker. Second home run in back-to-back plate appearances. Last chance for the Beavers, trailing by 2. We head to the 9th on the USPBL Network.
They call me Prospects. Since the day I was born as a diver's watch, the challengers of the world have taught me many things. Life is not a numbers game. It's about challenging ourselves. No matter what happens, just follow your heart. These pioneers drive our generation forward, not by setting records, but by never giving up. Keep going forward. Prospects.
Available at Lucido Fine Jewelry.
We're for people, the pioneers, the underdogs, the players, and the slow and steadies. We're for people, for who they are and who they could become. Yes, we're a bank, and some say our business is all about money, but that's an old idea. Because look past the money, and you'll see real human lives. We see it, because we're for people. Huntington, welcome.
Last opportunity for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. They trail 8-6 here in the top of the 9th against those Utica Unicorns. Trying to get the save for the Unicorns is Jace Bauman, the 24-year-old out of Mosinee, Wisconsin.
Looking at for Bauman coming in here, he was from the University of Wisconsin Stout in Division III and made 10 appearances in his senior season, threw over 59 innings of work, had 49 punch-outs, and he also had a one-hitter in his senior season. Looking at it for him, wise, his ERA was a little up in his senior season, at 4.5. But he's a guy that's looking to throw a lot of strikes, able to get guys through. Looking to slam the door here on this comeback by the Unicorns.
He'll have to face Stubbs, Bolin, and Spears. Stubbs takes the pitch low for ball 1. Stubbs has had a good day. Couple of RBIs, one on a sac fly, one on a base hit back in the 5th. Reached once in 4 appearances. 1 for 3 when you add in the sac fly. Stubbs was added after the college showcase last season. Von Joshua, former manager of the Beavers, went into the showcase specifically looking for left-handed batters, and he found one with J.D. Stubbs, a guy who brings a little bit of pop and some good average from Georgia Gwinnett. Grounds out to second here for the first out.
Still a good day for Stubbs, despite that ground out. Had some key at-bats and a sac fly and a single. Now Bolin trying to get into the hit column.
Under the zone from Bauman. 37 in 5 years at Wisconsin Stout. Sub-4 ERA in total for his college career. Pretty good numbers there. Strikeouts much higher than walks. The 1-1. Breaking ball just missed. Bauman throws a 4 and a 2 seam along with a changeup, curve, and slider. 2-1. Fastball tipped in. That looked like it caught Gomez somewhere. Umpire's going to give him a second. Thought it was maybe on the hand, maybe on the groin.
Umpire just cleaning off the plate at home. Getting ready to resume play.
Giving Gomez that extra breather. A little courtesy. 2-2 to third. Backing up, fielding his Lara, throwing over. Got him by half a step. Good stretch as well from Bichara. We've seen him do that a couple times today. Lunge to make the grab. And that's a big second out. It's all down to Tremaine Spears. And the Beavers need a base runner.
Yeah, let that one get out on a hop. Took a second to make an accurate throw over to Bichara to get him out by half a step. And now, like we said, the Beavers down to their final out. Tremaine Spears trying to keep this game alive.
In for a strike. Spears today started reaching in his first two appearances, singled and walked. Then a strikeout and a ground out since then. And looks at strike two. Back-to-back sliders on the front door. And down to their final striker, the Beavers. Bauman. Waits, sets on the 0-2. Just under the zone again. Tried to go back to the well with the slider one more time.
Was trying to get it below the knees, but was a little downstairs on that one. Still ahead in the count, though.
Fastball riding above, 2-2. Spears again on the 2-2. Popped him up, right side, shallow right field. Coming in is Brunson, now over, stumbled a bit, but makes the grab. And the Unicorns, in comeback fashion, exact revenge from the championship game a year ago and take game one of their season, 8-6 over the Beavers. Alex, there was plenty of offense today. Bunch of home runs. We saw 2 from Davis and 2 from the hero of the day, Josh Baker. Game tied at 6. He takes the lead in the 6th with a solo shot, adds the insurance run in the 8th with another solo shot, and the Unicorns win this one.
Yeah, great performance all around. Josh Baker was the hero for the Unicorns, had a fantastic day. Those 2 big flies out to give the Unicorns the win and the revenge from last season's championship against the Beavers, and all high fives all around for them. They were missing guys down here today, hoping to get those guys back soon, but able to start off the season on the right foot. Is that something Coach Jim Messian has to be proud of with his guys here today, putting on a show for these fans and starting out the season 1-0.
And plenty of good candidates to be our player of the game. Obviously, Chris Davis reached in 5 plate appearances with 4 hits, a walk, and 2 strikeouts, but ultimately the hero of the day, like we talked about, Josh Baker for the Unicorns with a tie game in the 6th. Hit a solo shot to take the lead, and then another home run in the next plate appearance for him in the 8th to take it. And the Unicorns win 8-6. Kara Wolfbauer is standing down by the third base side with the hero of the game, Josh Baker of the Unicorns. Let's send it down there to Kara now for our post-game interview.
Player of the game. So Josh and I were just talking, and he actually took a 2-year gap from baseball, but it doesn't show. He left Middle Tennessee University 2 years ago and is now here playing baseball for the USPBL. So tell me about your transition now to pro baseball after taking those 2 years off, Josh.
You know, at the time when I left college, I wasn't really enjoying baseball, and I just needed a mental break from it. And I started working in a batting cage with my guy back home, Alan Robbins. Shout out to you. Working with him, I fell in love with the game all over again, and now I'm just enjoying it, and I'm happy to be here.
So what have you been working on, too, in these last 2 years in the offseason, specifically up to the plate, that brought you 2 home runs today for us?
Honestly, I moved back home 2 years ago for that whole year. Baseball never really crossed my mind. I was just working, doing baseball lessons. And we were just messing around one day in the cage, took some swings, and I was like, we might have to do this. And this was in November of this year, or last year, and just started training up until this. And someone got a hold of Skip, and now I'm here.
Awesome. Well, we're glad to have you. And last question for you, Josh. You talked about the love of the game, finding that love again and getting back here. Well, look at these kids running the bases right now. They're the perfect example. So tell me how the atmosphere of Jimmy John's Field and watching these kids enjoy the game like you used to, how that contributes to your baseball career now.
You know, in college, I treated it more like a job, even though I wasn't getting paid, and now I am, and I'm having more fun doing it. So always remember it's a game, have fun, and just play.
Well, thank you so much, Josh. Congratulations on a great game today and starting off the Utica Unicorns strong. So Josh Baker is our Rochester University Player of the Game. My name is Kara Wolfbauer. Thank you so much, Jimmy John's Field, and we'll see you back here soon next week.
Love that. Always remember that it's always a game, and you just want to have fun. And that's what Josh Baker did today. Gotta be having fun when you're hitting 2 home runs and a win for your first game of the season. The Unicorns take it over the Beavers 8-6. What a fantastic opening weekend it was. Our doubleheader yesterday. Both games went into extras, and the Hoppers took them both. And then today, in a rematch of the championship, we had plenty of offense. 14 runs, a total of 22 hits between the Beavers and the Unicorns take it 8-6. Alex Johnson, your final thoughts from today's game.
Well, it was a great game all around. A lot of offensive spark from both sides. You know, Chris Davis on the Beavers had a sensational day with 2 home runs and helping the Beavers at many points of the game take the lead themselves. But Josh Baker stole the show from him with his 2 key home runs late in the game. The one to give them the lead in that insurance run in that bottom of the 8th inning to give the Unicorns a secure victory for them, going 1-0. The Beavers will look to bounce back from this tough loss here today, next weekend in week 2 of the USPBL season. Looking forward to it. We had a great opening weekend, Brennan. I'm excited for the rest of the way.
It's set up to be a blast. We thank everyone who joined us today and yesterday, who tuned in from all across the world. We talked about it during the broadcast today. Multiple states, multiple countries. It was a fantastic weekend. We hope you enjoy the rest of the season. For Alex Johnson and for Kara Wolfbauer, I'm Brennan Shabath. We'll see you next weekend here on the USPBL Network. The Beavers fall to the Unicorns today, 8-6, here on Sunday Afternoon Baseball on the USPBL Network.
If I hit a home run, then you know what's going out of the park. Yeah, bases loaded, we ain't letting up. Scoring back to back, you can count it up. United we stand together, divided we fall. Ain't no turning back, we done came too far to turn around and have a seat now. We don't compare, cause we unicorns. Illuminate the dark with my uniform. Every time you see me stand up and salute me. It ain't no competition, not even from you. If I hit a home run, then you know what's going out of the park. Yeah, bases loaded, we ain't letting up. Scoring back to back, you can count it up. United we stand together, divided we fall. Ain't no turning back, we done came too far to turn around and have a seat now.